What is it that you want to do?
Well, we want to be free. We want to be free to do what we want to do. We want to be free to ride. We want to be free to ride our machines without being hassled by the man. And we want to get loaded. And we want to have a good time. That's what we're going to do. Let's go. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a party.
Good afternoon, evening, morning, and night, everybody. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. A wonderful Monday. Remember last week, it was Friday, and I said Happy Monday? That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. What's going on? How's all you guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen's days going today? We are live with Coda B. Chris will be here shortly. He's just having a quick old shower. And yeah, we got some things I'm going to talk about. Doing pretty good. Just got done grilling some dogs and burgers and chicken on the grill today. Nice. That's awesome. Welcome, everybody. Georgia Peach, G. Gab, Stephanie Berry, Carrie Downings, Drip, Kiwi Dan, Wendy Allen, Michael Ashford. Everybody, welcome. Peace, love, and freedom to you all. I hope you're all having a lovely day. So things to talk about. I've let it slip a couple times, and I've brought it back. And y'all have been wondering what I'm actually been talking about here. And I told y'all that I wasn't telling you my secret until it was 100% locked down. Well, ladies and gentlemen, everything is 100% locked down. So now we can chat. So, I have got myself a wonderful, wonderful job. I will be driving big rock dump trucks. These things, I'll be driving that. And as soon as I have first and last month's rent, my apartment I can move in. I'm making big moves behind the scenes. I've been working very hard, getting to know a lot of people, making some connections, and having a little bit of fun in between, because I didn't really want you guys to know what I was up to. I didn't want anybody to know what I was up to, because there's a lot of people out there that always try to bring you down when you're chasing success, right? And now finally, after a long, hard year, I'm going back to be on my feet again, and things are going good again. Finally. So no matter what it takes, no matter what it costs, as long as it's not my pride, dignity, or my life, I'm going to get to the top, no matter what. What's going on, Mr. Proctor? Weren't you scared to drive the van? You mean the bus? No, I wasn't scared. Maybe a little, just because I didn't trust it. But it wasn't that I was scared to drive the van. It's just that it had a lot of problems, I think. What's going on, Proc? You there?
Yo. I just joined. I haven't been watching your stream, so I don't want to interrupt much. But it's only been 4 minutes.
Literally, yeah, 5 minutes and a half now. So yeah. No, we were just talking about how I locked myself down a wonderful job. I got a nice place now. I just got to wait for it to be finished and have first and last month's rent, and I can move in. things are looking good. Things are looking good. I'm also working on some other things behind the scenes that nobody knows about. So I do have another something that, well, it won't be released anytime soon. We'll say that. Something that I'm working on personally in my personal life, my personal time. But I start work on Wednesday. This Wednesday, 5:45 in the morning.
You just made Team Coda so happy, bro.
So Coda B is making. Oh, so this Procky, you missed it. This is what I'll be driving.
Is my mic working?
Yep.
Okay, how many times did I say that? Just to be curious.
That you just made Team Coda proud. I only
Yeah.
heard you say it once.
Okay, because I was off. I think maybe when I swipe StreamYard away, I go mute.
Right.
I
Did
don't
you
know
see
if
that
that's
picture
true.
though?
Yeah, I saw a big. Yeah. Is that a Volvo?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a giant Volvo truck. The rock ones, they drive. They carry like mountain rocks and gravel and sand and all like the big shit that the little trucks can't. Did you mute yourself? Are you still there? Holy heck, Mr. Procky!
Cool. Okay. No, you can't hear me when I'm outside of the screen. That's cool. All right. Cool. We learned a thing.
Yeah.
What's up?
Okay.
What's up?
Yeah.
What's up?
There
What's
you
up?
go.
What's up? What's up? Turn your volume down a bit. I can't do that because like I don't control the volume of my microphone on my
Yeah,
phone.
you guys got to turn the volume down on the screen if you want the volume down.
Coda's mic is just really quiet.
Thank you everybody for the good wishes and for the love and everything. It's been hard. It's been hard to keep it a secret from all you guys what I've been working on, and it's been hard to not talk about it. You guys know me, man. I get an idea in my head or I get good news or something like that. I'm like, guys, guess what? Guess what? But I can't tell you. But guess what? But I can't tell you. But guess what? Okay, fine, I'll tell you. You know? That's just how Coda is.
Yeah, it is actually. You're a showman. Not
Right.
like not to the core necessarily, but when it comes to creating content on YouTube, you're always like, wait for more, wait for the finale, wait till what I have to tell you tomorrow. It's fun. It makes me interested and makes me want to know you better.
It is fun. And I do have more that I could talk about, but I can't yet, so I gotta wait a little bit.
Yeah, and you don't even tell anyone when you're doing stuff like that. I can vouch that, there was a period there where Coda was here and we were hanging out a little more, but he still had secrets. Like he wouldn't share everything with me on it. Honk honk. What was that?
Right, Lori? Oops, I just turned it down at my end. Where's the dunce cap emoji? LOL. But yeah, no. I try to go and give it all I have, and this one thing I had to keep everybody in the dark about because it's what I wanted. And I wasn't going to let anybody get in my way or talk me out of it or talk me down or tell me that YouTube's my only life. And, because don't get me wrong, I'm still going to do YouTube and stuff.
If there's
it's
anyone
not
who
over.
tells you that aside from yourself, ignore them.
Right. I've been listening to the people who tell me I can do it. Did you find a dog sitter for Lucy or can he come with you? Working on the dog sitter part, Lori, but might actually maybe possibly have that part figured out as well.
I think I've always told you like you have what it takes for YouTube, but it has to be the side hustle. And obviously now, we understand that
Right?
Sorry. I'm trying to read chat while I'm talking. It's very hard to talk while I do that.
I know. I'm looking at Lori Dawn. I like her chat. Her message there. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one.
Yeah, everyone
Morgan
has
Keith
one,
says
and they
exactly.
all
Procky,
stink.
Hugh G. Procky is right. Procky's a good dude. Be like Procky.
People forget the last part of that quote all the time. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. There's a second part to that, and everyone stinks. Every opinion stinks. Anyway,
Yes,
sorry.
Carrie. I've been working for a while, and I had to do training and everything. So yes, I am legally eligible to drive these trucks now. Where's my lighter?
This is an exciting time, you know?
I'm moving up to the big leagues, baby.
He's going to the show.
I told everyone that I wouldn't let myself down. I didn't care about letting anyone else down. Now that everyone's helping me, I can't not only let them down, but I also can't let myself down because I have some people in the backgrounds that have been helping me figure some shit out because, you know, got some transportation issues and stuff like that. So now I don't. As long as everything goes well tomorrow, which it will, fingers crossed, positive vibes, manifest this shit to happen, it's going to happen. I manifested all this shit to happen. Everyone who said I would never make it, my school teachers, my elementary school bullies who I ended up throwing around and beating up, shut up! You know, every single person who ever said that I would never make it, I'm going to show you all and myself that you're wrong and I was wrong as well because I started to believe it.
Yeah, when it comes down to the viewers, like you would all, even if you were a full-blown bum, YouTube bum for the rest of your life, you would still have a large core group of viewers, and you might even be able to increase it if you went fully in that direction. But your core group that you've already earned, we're going to stick with you no matter what happens, obviously. And I just look forward to the future. I don't know.
I just had somebody actually reach out to me a couple days ago. Someone I haven't heard from in a while. Lucifer, knock it off now.
He's excited.
I've always been watching. Lucifer, man, fuck. But they said, I've been watching you since day one. I watched you go from everything in Ottawa to going across the road, to going across the country, to then having nothing and going back across the country again, and then going from a tent to a camper and a truck, and then back down to just a truck and into a place, and then you're in a bus, and now you're thriving, getting a good job, you're about to get an apartment, everything is going good. And I think they said, they're like, I think a lot of people are here to see you grow and see what's going to happen next. You know, the first chapter was Ottawa, the second chapter was fucking how are we going to survive with Coda B 1 2 3. Every day was a fight for a meal, every day was a fight for a bed, every day was a fight for a shower, you know. Where now we're only going to go up. We're going to be working hard, we're going to be posting constant videos about work and life and shopping, and
you're going to be making more money than me soon is what's going to happen.
Right.
And many people in stream. But you know what's weird?
I don't mean that to brag. I mean that to be a good, you know, I feel good about it because it's been
but
a long time.
You know what's weird? What's weird about that is like the more money you make, the more money people give you. And that doesn't only go for banks or Jews or whatever. It goes for like nowadays Twitch streamers. Like if you are a rich guy who streams a lot, like people give you more money for some reason.
Right?
No one can understand why, but it happens every day.
Lori, anytime, girl, if I have it. I know you personally. Denise Malloy, don't know you, but don't give your everything out for the world to tear down. Denise, so thank you for joining us today. And in a loving, kindest way I could possibly put this, my whole life is here on YouTube. Everybody knows me. Everyone who wants to see basically real life of somebody, see that everybody struggles, even people with a bigger YouTube channel like myself. I'm not even the biggest. I'm still a small guy, but I've been going strong, and I think this channel is more a journey. It's a journey of my life and where we're all going to end up together, And the difference between me and most of the mainstream people is but when I make it, I'm taking everybody with me. Everybody. Because we're going to make it together. We're all going to make it together. We're all going to succeed together. Georgia Peach, been with you since you started, not going anywhere. I appreciate you so much, girl. Hi, Denise. Welcome to the chat. We welcome all new viewers. Of course we do. Always.
Always. Coda's the #1 freedom channel that allows trolls the most.
But I don't let people have bad conversations. This is where everybody can come have a safe spot to chit chat and debate.
What I mean is, like, out of all the streamers I've ever seen, you turn trolls over. Like, if they try to get you with something, you get them back. You don't just ban them right away. You're like, yo, let's talk. And That's your style. That's what makes you, you. And it's awesome.
I'm just a guy trying to do the right thing, be on the right side of history, and show everybody some kind of form of love.
We don't have to go here. So
thank you,
tell
Denise,
me no.
for stopping by.
If I say the word poo scissors, you can tell me to stop. But poo scissors.
Go back to not talking about people who aren't around.
Okay, they might be lurking, but someone like Pooh Scissors, I've had some personal conversations with, and doesn't believe that the convoy actually affected change. Now, Pooh could have been trolling me, but that's the conversation I had. So even though that's my relationship with Pooh Scissors.
Right.
We disagree on that one thing, that the convoy affected change. I believe it did.
The main thing that people need to understand in this world, though, man. Okay, I'm going to be a dickhead for a minute, okay?
Okay.
I don't give a shit who you are. If you see that I'm live, don't call me. If I have to say it again, I'm going to start blocking people because it interrupts my live streams. I'm sorry. I never get mad. I know. But don't call me while I'm live. Please. Because I do my live videos off of my only cell phone right now. I do have another phone, but it's garbage. I have an iPad, forgot my password, locked myself out of it because I smoke too much, right?
So Pooh Scissors has Coda's phone number. That's confirmed now.
Good. I've left so many channels due to the haters. Yes, there's lots of haters out there. What I like to do is I usually ignore them, and if they get on my nerves, well, Procky knows how I handle that situation. And then, but I want to break it down for you here because I usually do this for all new viewers. So this channel is we travel Canada. We show everything all over the place, all kinds of content. Real life. This is the good and the bad. This is real life. It's like a reality TV show with Coda B123, where this isn't fake. This isn't scripted. This isn't planned. This is just live streams about my life. Everybody a part of it, and we all like to kind of try to become a family, spread love, all of it, right? And We also have Maple Blaze Productions. Now over there, it's me and my partner, which he should be here soon, but he's with me on that channel, and we do all Canadian content, games, Canadian and international food reviews. We're going to start that one soon. All kinds of stuff. So, and I have about 600 videos on this channel, all from the start of the start of 2021, I guess. Shit. Has it been that long?
What's up, Hector? I think I've
No,
said this before,
2022.
but
It was the start of 2022, right?
Hector Jimenez is another person who was on your like former ban list who we let back in
What's going on,
to the
Hector?
chat. We
Hector's
believe
never
in
been
free
a troll.
speech probably more than anyone else out here on YouTube.
We accept free speech. We want to know everything. We want to have peaceful debates without arguments or putting people down or calling each other names or fighting or doing any like doxing. We're not about that here. If you want to debate about stuff, if you think we're wrong, you want some proof, we'll provide it. If we think you're wrong, we'll ask you for proof as well.
I think for the most
all the above.
part, the people who got banned back in your heyday of many viewers was people who, when you were live in a heated protest, people would say like, yo, throw a brick at the cop's head. And like, if you said something like that, sorry, you get banned, right? Like if Coda's live during a protest and you're actively saying do something violent as hell, I think that's a pretty good reason for a ban.
That's when my mods came in handy though, man, because like shit, I only had a couple mods. Trish was my main mod. I
for
had
the
like
most part,
10,000 people in my chat at one time, and she'd just be like, ban, 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 ban. I was like, holy crap, they're getting is banned just as fast as they come in, as, you know?
Yeah, like I think that, well, yeah, Trish during Ottawa, she was the king or queen, sorry. And she's the king and queen, for fuck's sake. But that aside, yeah, I feel like this channel, that's the reason I've become attracted to it. It's the most free speech kind of channel around, in my opinion. But when you call
Just
for
face
violence,
it, Brocky. Chris and I are the next Bob and Doug McKenzie, and you know it.
yeah, well, 2.0,
right?
because
Right?
the maple
The soon to
syrup.
be bald brothers.
But really, we don't mind criticism. We don't mind people who disagree with us.
Oh heck no, I love it. I want it. I want people to question everything, because if you're not questioning everything, then what is the point in trying?
I think the only way you can get banned, or the only way I've ever really banned people, is if you call for real violence during an IRL stream where
Thanks, Eugene.
Coda's on the street and people are saying like, hey, do this, do that, throw a brick, do that. It's like, that's when
You
you
know how
get
many
banned.
times my car got egged and fucking, you know how many times I got pepper sprayed and thrown down to the ground and, treated like trash, and, I just kept getting back up with high spirits going, yeah, I love you too. I love you. Give me a hug. I just want a hug. Just love me.
That's kind of creepy, bro.
Isn't it
Like
though?
you're like a love zombie or something weird like that.
Yeah, but how can you deny love? How can you deny a hug? How can you deny that I'm only holding a flag? Like, and
I
let
might
alone, we're Canadians. Do you know why we bring flags on our hockey sticks? So that when you're down to play some hockey, we just take our flag off, put our stick on the ground, drop a ball, and bam, we're playing hockey, baby. And
yeah, you tie the flag around your neck and then you just use the stick. Yeah. We all know
exactly.
that. If you're Canadian, you know how to do that, and you've probably done it, at least once.
right?
Oh, James is here. That guy's a big time troll.
Oh yeah, huge troll. No, James is cool shit. James is our personal troll. He likes to troll everyone in a weird way. He just jokes around and stuff. He has always asked me how come I never banned him off my channel. I said, because you're my own personal troll.
I do like almost everything James does sometimes, but he's a little bit worse than me.
Huh.
So he gets labeled a troll, and then I get labeled. I mean, what's my label? Let's chat and Coda and Chris when he gets here. You know, what's Procky's role here? What do I really represent here? Do
You're
I
like
care?
the fucking king of fucking free speech and like telling people how it is. Just like you're like a less scary version of Terrence.
James says I'm a grumpy old bastard.
Ah, I remember during the convoy when they got out in the street and played hockey. I thought it was fun. It was really fun. It was awesome.
There's hockey at a lot of protests that I've been to. It's so fun.
I recorded it in Ottawa and I played. I'm from Ontario. I'm from Paris, Ontario. Um, I went to Ottawa with the trucker convoy, and then I crossed Canada, spreading love and information and all that, and live streaming everything. And then I went back to Ottawa for the biker and veterans. And then I came back to BC, and then by that time I had no money left, no nothing. I slept in my brother's driveway in a tent, got myself a job picking cherries. And then it was the end of the season, so I had to go. And then I survived on YouTube until like recently, with a little job here and there that nobody really knew about because I was keeping my moves secret.
Oregon's cool. Oregon's fine. We all have our disagreements with culture in Oregon, but keep it weird. Keep it weird.
Love the U.S., but hate Biden. I love the people, but I hate Biden.
Biden's not. I don't even know if I can hate the guy. Like, he's kind of a wax museum exhibit at this point. But what else was I gonna say? To Stephanie, I wanted to just say this one very personal thing. Coda, you're allowed to give Steph my number.
Okay.
Or that goes for anyone in chat who has my number. That's pretty sad. I have so many people in chat here that has my number. I hope someone clips this. Sends it to the CRA.
Hey, this guy's giving out his number online. He's trying to pick up a girlfriend, maybe even a guy friend.
It's just that I'm not going to be doing live streams anymore. And even today, I'm only here on a technicality because Fish Tank Live, the only thing I was streaming, ended today. I thought it would be yesterday. Today is the actual day where it ended. So I will be not joining lives. Coda, we can talk on the phone and shit. That's totally cool. So like anytime you want to phone me, obviously you already know that's cool. So whatever. Same goes for anyone here who has got my number. There's a few here who do. We're friends. That's why you have my phone number. And if you're CSIS, please believe that I'm your friend. I'm really your friend.
We're everyone's friend.
And I'm very pro-China. Very pro-China. Very pro-China. Okay, so
yo, that's just not allowed to be said here.
I'm just covering my ass, so
it's not allowed to be said on this channel. Anything that's said not by me does not go back on me, YouTube. So I know you suck, but it's okay as long as you don't suck for free. Nobody's.
I just don't want to go to. I just don't want to go to jail. I think we live in a real communist dictatorship now. That's more loyal to larger superpowers than we are. and that they aren't loyal to the states, and the states ain't even loyal to the states. Anyway, we can have that conversation.
Not even loyal to Canada. No one's loyal to no one. You know who's loyal to who? Freedom fighters are loyal to each other and to the world and to the children and to the people.
I'm just loyal to people, man.
I'm loyal to people too, and I pray for everybody, and I hope everybody prevails and wakes up and sees the damage that our governments are doing. And, you know, I wish it all, and I hope the best on everybody, but we can't force anybody to do anything they don't want to do, right? And most of the people that are vaccinated, they're vaccinated because they think that when shit goes down, the government's going to protect them. But I'm sorry, motherfucker. You know what's going to happen? You're going to be the first person the government's knocking at the door going, hey, you're coming with me. And we're taking your family with us too. And what are you going to be able to do about it? Absolutely nothing. Right? So we got to protect the kids. We got to protect the people. We got to protect everybody because we've only got one shot at this, man. And if we fail, the next thing that's going to happen is they're going to start putting us in fucking camps and shit, man. Concentration camps, forced vaccinations, all of it. They're going to do all of it. And if people think that that's not what's going to happen, wake up. No offense. It's going to happen, And if that doesn't happen, worst case scenario, I think a war might break out. So I think are you talking about Danielle Smith, I think her name is? I was forced to get or lose my job. Not fucking cool. Exactly. It's shit like that. Do you have an opinion on the illegals coming into the U.S.? I don't like it. We can't take care of our own, much less everyone else. And I think it's not for the good. Denise, I personally think the same thing anywhere. These thoughts are for the U.S. as well. But this is my belief for Canada mostly. We take in all these immigrants and all these people, and no offense, like I'm not racist. I don't, nothing like that. Like I care about everybody. Everyone's equal. Everyone's loved. We're all the same. We all bleed red. Okay. But when shit goes down in Canada, and it will go down. Okay. All these people can immigrate back to their countries and try and rebuild. Right. Where if we lose Canada, where do we go? Right. Just like if you guys lose the States, where do you go? If they take over right now, we're at a 50-70 Canadian population. It's only what was it? 30-70. That's it. 70% Canadian, 30% miscellaneous. So now if they get another 20%, that's 50-50 in our own country, right? Now if they all left, right? And our country's lost, what are we left with? Where do we go? Right? They can go rebuild in their country, but we're stuck here fighting, bleeding and dying and begging and praying for peace. Right? Meanwhile, they're just going to trample us like ants in the ground, right? It's absolutely ridiculous, and it needs to be stopped.
We are ants, Coda. We are ants.
I'm just so sick of it all, Procky. I'm so sick of it all, man. That's just my thoughts. Like, and everything that I thought was gonna happen has literally friggin' happened. Like, I just don't understand it. I'm probably gonna get shut down soon for misinformation.
Hey, yeah, watch how it's no longer Bill C-11, or what is it, C-36, whatever it was. Now it's called the Online Streaming Act.
Yeah, Bill C-11 is the streaming one, and then Bill
Online Streaming Act.
Freedom of speech.
I think I'm already being affected in certain ways, but I don't want to publicly announce that.
We are being invaded, and I am tired of it. I agree, G-Gab. I think countries should take care of their own people first. Canada and US have a crisis of homeless people. Fix that first, right? Exactly.
Fucking A. Like,
Exactly. Our own people, our own fucking people can't afford to put meals on the table for their families. And most of them are working 2 jobs. Do you know why? Because food is so it's $5 for a fucking
even
loaf.
okay, you'll watch channels that are similar to this that are talking about immigration and stuff, and it's like, we don't want immigration. Okay, whatever you want or don't want, the people who come here and work harder than people who were born here work like, 16-hour shifts and longer. uh there's something there's just something broken uh in the country. Anyway, I'm all scared to talk my mind right now. It's weird.
Right? I agree with you, Denise. But that is the agenda of the regimes to take over and us all out. Exactly. Exactly. There's almost 8 billion people in the world now. Do you know what? Do you know what they want a total? If you do the math, we've talked about this before. If you do all the math, the number adds up to 95% depopulation rate, okay? That's 525 million people that would be left out of 8 billion. 95% depopulation. They only want 5% of the world to be left. And you know who's obviously going to be fucking chosen is the rich, the scientists, the fucking pedophiles, the fucking, they're all going to be able to live in harmony, and we're all going to be slaughtered like animals. Sorry, probably more YouTube misinformation. Probably.
Pooh Scissors is a Fed. I actually just had that confirmed. So careful what you say to Pooh.
You know what, Hugh? I agree, didn't judge people that got vaccinated, but I was judged and disrespected for my choice. Right? Right, Lori? I agree. That's so crappy, right, Procky? I find myself censoring myself a lot. Yeah, I try to. But then I just kind of don't care either. Too much drugs and homeless here. Our crime is way up, yes, on a fixed income. And the past 2 years, it's gotten harder and harder just to eat. Exactly. And that's not a good thing. We have over 6 million illegals from 146 countries in here since 2022. Holy fudge. I think the big C was part of depopulation. Also, the Fetty that is running rapid here in the States. Oh, Denise, in Vancouver, they just opened their first legal hard drug distribution store. So now they can legally sell cocaine, they can legally sell heroin, they can legally sell fentanyl. And a junkie
In Calgary?
in Vancouver.
Oh, Vancouver.
You or me could legally walk in there and go get drugs if we have problems with drugs. We can go get more drugs to solve our drug problem.
I mean, it's actually, you know what the saddest part of that is that heroin junkies would actually prefer fentanyl now. Like, back in the day, it was like, if you can get pure heroin, that's so awesome. Like, it's so sweet. It's like from Pulp Fiction or something. You get the most pure heroin. It's like amazing. But literally, any junkie on the fucking downtown east side of Vancouver or throughout the city, they would much rather have fentanyl now. It's over.
Right.
Heroin isn't even a thing anymore. Anyway, that's my rant.
Georgia Peach, yes, it's not the Mexican people. You must have been watching First Responder. Hey, yeah, First Responder. He's a new viewer of our channel as well. We sent him some subs, and he sent us some as well. Is that where you're from? First
Let her
Responder.
poop.
Later, Hector. Wait, Hector's poo? Hector's not poo. Yo, what's going on, Hugh G? Cool guy, Lord Don, I got you. I know you've been here the whole time. I need coffee, you said, eh? You want to see what fentanyl shrink does to a person? Oh, crap. Watch Kensington and Philadelphia. Have a good day, Hector. Much love to you, brother. Peace, love, and freedom. Yes, Denise, he was one of them. Guess what, Lori? Guess what? What? Yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Yes to your message, to what I was reading. Okay. Yeah, me too, Hector. You buying? Or Hugh G? Oh, mine, not good. Here in Oregon, they bought all digs down to a traffic ticket. Holy crap. It bad. Killing a lot of people and teaching the kids the wrong stuff. Yeah, that's not right. It's not right, man. And we're teaching them too young too. Like the fucking what do you call them, Crocky? Um, 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 Groomers and shit. They're teaching kids like
No, okay, no.
or whatever it is, drag queens and people who are not having the same agenda as regular people who can think normally are trying to teach kids 5 and up that it's okay to chop off body parts and do this and
I
that.
have a number of actual stories from actual groomers, and I think these people, it's so fucking weird too because they travel around the country and in the cities from school to school, and it's almost like a fucking, like, if you had to work for them. Okay, so let's go back a bit here. Part of my employment history has to do with um, working for the fair. All right. So I went from town to town selling shit like fucking mops, brooms, and chamois, fucking whatever, the flashlight you pump up yourself with your hand, you know. Um, and these people remind me of myself back then, except what they're selling to schools and children is not just, you know, it. Am I still alive here?
Yeah,
It's not just sex ed. It's a it's a new flavor,
it's like a whole
and we all know what that flavor is. And
ball game. It's
it's horrible.
trying to
It's
manipulate.
satanic.
It's manipulation of children's minds before they're fully developed. Honestly, in my opinion, it's
Sickening,
the
and
infiltration
it's
of the mind, man. Because I look at it this way: you're only as smart as you grow up around the people and how much you're taught and how much you're willing to learn and stuff like that, right? Now, if people are drilling that shit into your head and nothing else, then at that point, it's not even your fault. It's their fault for doing what they're doing to you, right? Now, you've learned at such a young age that such nasty, cruel shit is okay. So now, what's that person going to do to the next generation, right? Like, it's going to be a continuation of just sickening. I can't even think about it. Like I have a daughter, a beautiful, beautiful 7-year-old daughter. Okay, she is the best thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. And if anybody ever tried to do that to her or threatened her safety or anything like that, well, other parents would know what I would do without me having to say, you know. And I would do that for any child, any fucking child. Once I became a dad, it was just a whole new level for me. Right? God only made two C's, period.
So dark. We just live in such dark, bleak times. And I think that the only thing that can take us out of this is, parental guidance, for sure. Like you said. And people keep looking to like the government. Like I see news stories. It's like North Dakota or what? Maybe it was Idaho. Idaho banned TikTok, and I'm like, okay. Like, good luck. Like I've already been banned from pirate download sites and stuff. The banning's already happening, and for a news story to say like Idaho's banning TikTok, how are they actually going to do it? Well, it's pretty simple actually. They just censor the internet.
The same thing they're doing here.
Is that what should happen? Should we be censoring the internet? Or should we all realize that
it should be your choice what you watch? If you guys decide to come watch Coda B, you watch Coda B. If you want to go watch some Pornhub, go watch some Pornhub. You want to go watch someone committing mass murder, go ahead. You want to watch a hitman, you want to watch a car race, you want to watch a horseback race, whatever. You want to watch babies being born. If people decide to do all those kind of different contents, it shouldn't be whether or not it's okay. It should be whether or not it's okay in your eyes, whether you want to watch it or not. It should be up to you, right?
Yeah, I think that, well, that's the okay, so that's the conflict between, say, the parent and the government. I think the parent would say, hey, I'm going to educate you about what the internet is.
Right.
It's everything. You can see anything you can pretty much fucking imagine on the internet, including whatever. We could start a big list of all the fucked up shit you can see on the internet.
Right.
And the other side of it is the government's role, where they're like, we have to tailor the internet so that, whatever. It becomes so convoluted at that point.
Right.
That, really education is the key here. It's not government control. It's just education. And
Right.
don't give your 10-year-old kid Instagram. That's a bad call.
Well, exactly. It was different for our generations. Like I grew up with MSN. We grew up with MSN and fucking LimeWire and email. And that was when we had flip phones. We had to pay like $15 for texting. Add another like $10, you could get some calling, but you had to pay for your minutes if you went over. It was like free calling after 6 p.m. And those were the good fucking days, man. I miss those days.
It's true. A shocking amount of drug deals were done on MSN.
Right. Oh my God, yes.
Mike, Bill Gates, you've got a lot to answer to, bud.
Still though, but that was the thing back then, right? Like,
it's the thing today. I mean, people do it still on Twitter and Instagram, and
it wasn't as bad then. It wasn't as censored then. Like you could literally post whatever you wanted.
YouTube is actually one of the hardest places to personally connect with someone, because there's no private messaging. There's no, like, and we've all met on YouTube, and you have to go to a secondary source to get private messaging.
And you can only have to have alternate things that you're okay with people all over the world finding out your certain info. So
it's almost like you've already been 2-factor authenticated.
Right?
We're fucked.
It's all right though, because I have certain things you have to do in order to log into all my shit, and everything comes right to my phone, and I have to confirm.
At least we'll never have to defend China. because they're like grouping up with Russia. Anyway, that's a whole other topic. World War III.
Used to be MSN Messenger, Yahoo Messenger, AOL. Yeah, I remember all that stuff. Too many people who have children aren't parents. They have kids to get welfare, or they didn't use protection. Oh yeah, exactly. You can't private message like before. That too, yeah. We need to get our morals back. Oh, I agree so much. Oh, by the way, G Gab, I'm very sorry about your stepson, and I hope everything works out. Kids are buying drugs off of Snapchat now. Oh yeah, and Snapchat's like a porn thing now. Like, do you know how many porn bots I have adding me every day? Oh man.
Porn bots. I don't
Yeah,
see any.
dude. So I have a question to ask. What's up, Lori? What's your question? Let's hear it. Let's hear your question.
ASL. You.
Oh my goodness.
For everyone, though. For everyone. So, Coda, we're gonna have to start her off.
Well, I'm thinking some pondering questions.
Okay,
As
but
well.
everyone does have to do, as long as me and you do ASL, I think the chat will.
What is ASL again?
Age, sex, location, for fuck's sakes. You said you were on MSN.
No, I was,
That's
but
more of a Yahoo groups
it's
thing.
been years. Age, sex, location. All right. Age 12. Location Ontario. Sex undetermined. I'm so confused. The world says it's okay to be a girl when I'm a guy, and it's okay.
Okay, see, my buddy showed me this. It's like a YouTube. They say it's a game show, but they actually track down like pedos.
Oh.
And God, I can't remember the goddamn name of it right now. I wish I could. And
Yeah.
they find guys who say that about themselves, that they're this age. But God damn it, you.
Well, I'm in
Sorry.
Alberta now, but hey,
I'm not saying you're anything like that, Coda. I'm just saying it reminded me of this fucking.
well, just listen.
Thing.
Sweet meats are candy, but sweet breads, which aren't sweet, are meat.
Breads which aren't sweet meat are.
You're confused. Quicksand works slowly.
Fuck, I wish I could remember the name of this shit, because it is extremely hilarious content.
Boxing rings are square.
It's like Chris Hansen to Catch a Predator, but they turn it into a game show and they make you answer questions to get yourself off the hook. And then
Why is it that a writer writes, but fingers don't fing, grocers don't grosh, humdingers don't hum, and hammers don't ham?
it's not Peter Hunters. It's something else. Fuck.
If you can make amends, can you just make one?
It's like a game show.
Right?
God damn
Hi,
it.
Trish.
I can't believe I'm typing this into Google. That's horrible. Oh my God, the results are disgusting.
Okay, fine. I have a good one for you all.
Oh. It was funny when I saw it today. Oh God.
I have a good one for you all. Why do we ship by truck and cargo by ship? And send cargo by a ship.
Why?
We ship by truck. I don't know. It's pondering. It's something you need to, figure out yourself.
Oh, you don't have an answer. It's just meant to put us into a trance.
Yeah. Why do we ship by truck and send cargo by ship?
You know, it sounds very like it reminds me of Confucius. And, you know, Confucius was kind of a bitch. Like, come on, guys. Can we say fuck Confucius? For real? Like, he just kind of like tries to put you in these mental traps. It's like a Chinese finger trap. No wonder, right? But a Chinese finger trap for your mind. That's Confucius.
Denise, yes, keep doing what we're doing. Keep fighting. Keep spreading useful information. Love. Raise our kids right. Teach our friends new ways, better ways. Everything you can, you know. And yes, Procky, I do like to confuzzle people.
It just reminds me of a Bill Hicks joke. I hope some of our chat, or you, Coda, and or Chris, who will soon join, remembers the great comedian Bill Hicks. Now, he had a good joke about Confucius. And he said, you know, Confucius said that, you know, he would pose this question to people: what is the sound of one hand clapping? And he would just, you know, and then he just claps with one hand. And he says, fuck Confucius. Let's move on. You know, anyway. That was Bill Hicks. That's not me. That's Bill Hicks.
I was just wondering why feet smell and noses run.
Why do feet smell and noses run? I would say that has to do with the neighborhood you grew up in. You know, I'll leave it at that.
Cat, Trish, Procky. I need vodka to appreciate that, Procky. But 170 illegally crossed into Yuma, AZ from 16 different countries. Damn! Got something to do with aliens. Dope as fuck. That's awesome. G-Gab and most were men. So, like, does that mean I can come immigrate to the States? Who's going to take me in? I'm just kidding. I'm staying here. I'm in Alberta. I'm making a for myself.
I would honestly look forward to a number of more campaigns. It wouldn't be the first. There's already a few states who will take Canadian quote unquote refugees.
Well, I'm technically a refugee.
I might qualify myself. I've already looked into it. But I have to stay with my family.
I went to Ottawa and can't go back to Ontario because True Dope is dope.
It's pretty much over for me as a citizen of this country.
Hey, I'm technically a citizen of nowhere right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, people will look up to you more if you stand behind a flag. Right?
Well, I mean, I sit in front of one. But yeah.
AB. Oh, shit. There's fucking live election coverage on CBC right now.
Oh, is there?
Hold on. I'll look at it privately, and I'll let you know.
G-Gab, yes, I saw. I watch him every night. He is there. What's scary is the ones who have no ID. They are mostly from China or thereabouts. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy what's going on in this crazy world right now, everybody. So we need to stick together. We need to be united. We need to keep loving each other, keep spreading love, keep spreading really important information.
Damn, Coda, I gotta say, you kind of fucked up because you should have done a live stream that was about the Alberta election. You probably have like 3 times as many viewers right now.
Well, Want to help me out with that then, and we'll go. We'll do it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, what a dope as fuck. They can say what is the next big danger. Whatever it will be, like farts danger. Huh. Have a great night. KB, again, congratulations on the new job. Have a good night, Lori. Peace, love, freedom. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful night, a wonderful sleep, and a wonderful day at work tomorrow. We will see you later. Adios.
Fuck.
You gotta mute one. Yeah, there you go. Love you guys. Love you more. I love all you more. So I'm actually oh my god, I said that backwards. Genuinely curious. Why do feet smell and noses run? Any conspiracies in the chat tonight, guys? Don't worry. We're still talking normal talk. We're still doing whatever you want, but we can always have some in-betweeners. You know what I mean?
Beaner.
Get a barbecue and roast up some wiener with some burger and some chicken.
Wiener. That's funny.
Wiener, chicken beater. Oh, my boxes are riding up and shit. That's not cool. So, yeah, good things are coming. Good job. Got a good place coming. Other things that I've been working and fighting for, and yeah. But now I'm unsure about a lot. Except the job and the place. That's for sure. Other things I'm unsure about. That's a good one, Coda. What's a good one? What did I say? Wiener, chicken beater? Oh, yeah, maybe. That? Sure, yeah. Or the job. Or everything. I'm really happy.
Oh, sorry. Let's see here. I'm not ready for that yet.
What are you not ready for? Oh, shit. Where'd he go?
Oh, there we are.
What happened?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out this. Let's try and stream the election, maybe.
And again, you were in medicine.
BRB. Okay, sounds good, Trish. Would you fight a boar or a chimpanzee? Definitely a boar.
Grand Prairie, and of course, you have been affected by the wildfires. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. The fires didn't really affect me too badly. The surrounding area.
Is there audio for anyone?
Yes.
You have audio?
If I have audio, everyone else does.
What has been, in this election, what is the number one issue for you?
Making sure that our resources stay strong. We're very dependent on our energy sector here in Alberta, and I just know that one party is in favor of that and another party isn't.
Have you been pleased with how it's been addressed during this campaign?
I believe so. I believe it's been addressed.
Is that John Curtis?
Thoroughly throughout.
Right?
Many times. I know I've heard many things come out of
I didn't know you were getting elected.
Smith's mouth quite often. And yeah, I'm pleased with what she's been doing.
All right. So next we go to Calgary. This is Calgary West, and there we find Sunil Shah. Sunil, right off the bat, what is the biggest issue for you in this campaign, in this election?
The energy transition and healthcare and
This guy's a
vaccines.
bitch. This is one of the
I
guys that
want Alberta
that
Energy
well.
to be
Pretty sure.
front and center. I want Alberta to be
I like this guy.
the leader when it comes to new and renewable energy, and I also want Alberta to be the jurisdiction where the last barrel of oil comes from.
Those are, you touched on some good topics there. I mean, the economy, healthcare, those are two really big topics that.
Lost sound. Oh. Can everyone hear it? Because I can't.
Especially in Edmonton, we have very much a growing crime issue that frankly people are sick of, and we want it to be addressed.
So, I mean, when we're talking about looking at the province, right, we're talking about healthcare, we're talking about the economy, we're talking about safety, we're talking about affordability. There's bound to be at least one of those topics that does resonate with you, our viewers. We will be checking in with our panel again throughout the evening, and I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, it's been really interesting so far. A few of those panelists talked about energy, but I got to say, Nancy, I'm not feeling the energy from them, the enthusiasm for today. I think it's a sense of fatigue, if I'm not mistaken. We're all tired, right?
Fucking faggot.
We are less than 6 minutes away. And the counting begins. Those results start coming in, and then we can start a whole new conversation. Who's going to form government? What will the next 4 years look like?
Let's reduce the volume of this fucking idiot.
After this break, that's it for
See how he has two wedding rings? That tells you a very dark story.
That he sniffs fairy dust while eating unicorn farts. Yeah.
He's in between two big black lovers. I think, that's what I think that means. Okay, so remove and mute on my end. All right.
There we go.
That was pretty horrible. That was as bad as watching Hockey Night in Canada or ESPN hockey commentary.
It makes me feel this kind of way.
I'm about to whip somebody's ass. Oh, I'm about to whip somebody's ass. Oh, if you don't leave me alone, you're gonna have to send me home, 'cause I'm about to whip somebody's ass.
Wow. See what happens, Coda? You threaten to leave YouTube and people start offering to pay you money.
Yeah, I'd pay to listen to Procky comment on the news.
Yeah. I knew that would happen too.
Oh, man.
The unfortunate thing is that we don't live in a capitalist society anymore. It's more like if you give YouTube more money, then they'll allow us to eat.
Georgia, those make me laugh so much. Good, I'm glad. And on today's episode of How Up is Fucked Up, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how it crumbles.
What's going on? Yeah. I got no shirt on. What's up?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I look like a fucking goblin. It's pretty cool.
With a beard.
Okay, technically today's the last day of Fish Tank, so today is the actual technical last day of Procky.
Right. Dope as fuck. They do. And much love to Germany. We love Germany. Yeah. They did you see that comment, Procky Canada? Trudeau get good promo here from the mainstream. They replace words like good with Trudeau for the English plat.
Und das heißt Erika. That's what I think of when I think of Germany.
Isn't Arnold Schwarzenegger German?
Austrian.
Austrian, that's it. Close though.
Yeah. He speaks German.
Shit, an hour and 11 minutes. Chris is going to miss the live tonight.
Erika. Und das heißt. I gotta do like a slowed down, like acoustic version of that shit. That would be fucking tight.
Fuck, we need to like make like a fucking funny ass freedom song or something.
Und das heißt. Although, to be fair, in the queue is a Ryu's theme from SNES, the Ryu's theme on acoustic guitar. Very, very tight, slowed down acoustic.
Right.
But Erica would be awesome too.
Right. Well.
Uh-oh. We're getting raided by
Tantrum raid. What's going on, Tommy and all the friends? Howdy.
I wouldn't even trust that it's a real raid, but based on that username, I wouldn't even trust that's a real raid. That's a procky raid.
That's a procky raid. I don't like the name, but yeah, that's okay. Nice name.
There's a time and place to use the word correctly. I don't think that.
I'll call you Stomper.
I don't think now is the time.
No, if Tommy was gonna raid us, he's usually the first one, isn't he? No. Prox, I'm telling you, I don't know how this person does it. Maybe AI, but you have to check out their I ruined.
I don't trust a single one of you anyway, except Coda.
Because you met me.
Look at how strong I look. Wow.
You look like you just ate a lot of double cheeseburgers and no, I'm just kidding.
All right. You got me there.
I'm just kidding. It was double Big Macs.
Oh, someone's tagging me on a unrelated Discord chat.
Get the voice over to Twitch and make us cry. Tommy isn't live right now.
I compromised the whole operation, boys. I'm sorry.
What's going on, Tina and James?
It's all over now.
What'd you compromise? Did you show nipple? New account troll. Okay. Hi, Auntie. My first day doesn't start till Wednesday. Wednesday. Ah, damn. Is the South Park 26 to international Justin Trudeau? What? Fly him out, Bri. I'm a mod vacay for the evening. Freedom! Trish, I'm on mod vacay for the evening. I love you, Trish. Indeed you are. Indeed you are. How are you, Brian? I hope so, because you know so. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
No way.
Don't say that.
No way. I was just gonna say, no way you just said that.
Don't say that.
Brian, you're more than welcome to join if you'd like. There's not a link, but I can quite as easily provide one. We've been talking about actually everything tonight. But here, I
also, there's literally no such thing, anyways.
As what?
What the person said in the chat.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no such thing.
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's the only place that people stay away from is places that freeze. Everyone knows that, so shut up.
Yeah, I think I'm out of funny ones for now. Hey guys, I'm sideways.
Yeah, it's a good representation of how the stream is going.
Arctic Monkeys, decent.
Oh, there's some more election coverage. Should I add it in?
If you would like to.
I would. It'll at least shut up this horrible conversation.
Also, Brian, good to know. We'll send people over there. Pop your link in.
Is there audio?
No. Yeah.
People in that room elected her in their own closed election less than a year ago by those candidates, and she tried to rebrand the party. Start to say, they made the most of it. At least I'm wondering what they're saying about Daniel's, of course, the last one.
Well, this is her first test, right? How does she appeal to the broader Alberta electorate? 125,000 UCP members elected her last fall. Like you said, there's about 2.8 million voters in Alberta who will be making their decision about her tonight. And so I think that what you've seen from the strategy kind of mitigate the rough of Daniel.
2.8 million voters in just Alberta alone.
Have resurfaced of her comparing people who have been vaccinated.
Wow, they just hit her so hard.
Will be a test tonight, especially in those key battlegrounds, of exactly what version of Danielle Smith people think that they are getting.
Oh my God, the CBC is seething.
They really feel like they've
seething.
On some of those Calgary seats. You're going to be looking at places that are the toss-ups.
They hate Danielle.
Calgary, Glenmore, and in an election where we have talked a lot about healthcare and the economy, really what the two leaders have been talking about is how much you can't trust their opponent. And so I think as the results start to come in a little bit, we'll get a preliminary glance, at least, of if the UCP was successful.
This CBC bitch sounds so shook. It's hilarious.
I know.
Her voice is shaking.
Just factored in a lot of her other missteps from earlier and how that exactly will play out in these really, really close races here in the city.
It's going to be fascinating, isn't it, right? It's going to be at the leadership level, premier versus premier, something we've never seen in the province before, thanks to Lise. And at
Premier versus premier.
Julia Wong. So when I say premier versus premier, for the first time in Alberta's history, Rachel Notley conceded in 2019, but stayed on as leader. So we have a former premier also another election that's never happened before. She spent a ton of time in battleground Calgary, as was talking about, so important to the outcome tonight. And yet, Rachel Notley has driven up the QE2 to wrap things up tonight in Edmonton. I think some people might be a little curious about that. Why did she return to her home in Edmonton?
10% battery.
Yeah, Rob, I think there's a few different reasons for that. I mean, when you think about it, what happened in 2019 here in this city, the NDP won almost all the seats.
I wonder if this reporter has had some Chinese election interference done to her.
In the Edmonton area. Now, this time around, there are 5 open seats in the city, but they've all leaned NDP in the past. So the party's feeling pretty confident. And folks that I've talked to here while we've been here, they are optimistic. There's a lot of positive energy from them. Obviously, everyone is nervously or perhaps excitedly waiting for what's going to happen later today. Now, as we've been here, the doors have just opened. The crowd here is still perhaps a little small, but it's been building. We've seen trickles of people coming through, and there's a lot of excited chatter about what could happen later tonight. As you were mentioning earlier, Calgary, obviously the battleground for this election. The NDP, they only have 3 seats there as of the 2019 election, so they really need to win big. They need to win in the double digits if they want to have any chance of forming government. But as to Elise's point, as of earlier, the main issues for voters in the was really focusing on was trust and leadership. Can you trust what Daniel is saying?
What happened?
Will be changing her opinion in perhaps
What's happening?
who knows? And that is what they are banking on. Rachel Notley's popularity is through the roof. She is such a brand. She's a bigger brand.
What's going on, Jonah?
So they are betting a lot
I'm winning, baby.
On her popularity, and they really hope that will translate later tonight. Again, as we were talking about earlier, Edmonton, they are expecting hopefully to sweep this city. They're hoping to pick up more seats in Calgary. And also, speaking with the strategist earlier, they think that there could be some riotings, in other parts of the province that haven't really
Riotings? There's going to be riots? Is that what she just said?
Yeah.
There's going to be riots?
I'm pretty sure that's what she just said.
Oh, fuck. We're fucked.
The Orange Wave of 2015. Can she get her party across the line tonight?
Did you just say something about the convoy?
You have to consider it, even as an outsider moving in.
We should probably just pause that and get rid of it
Even
for now.
as an outsider, we're still CBC meant for countless.
It's horribly upsetting to hear the way that they talk.
What's up, party people? What's going on, Torrid? How you doing, Torrid?
Party people. Torrid always says that, but never makes sense.
It's like Buddy off The Flash, yo. What up, party people?
Maybe it defines Torrid. It doesn't define me. You never say that. It's literally your catchphrase, you motherfucker.
Torrid, your profile pic is the darker side of the moon. It's because he comes from the dark side of the moon. Hey, handsome in the dark, wholeness.
Uh-oh. Now I'm getting paid attention to. Better watch out. Should we keep watching the election, or?
I don't know. Does everybody else want to? Every time we put it on, our viewers go down. Every time we take it up, our viewers go up. So.
Huh. There's no real favorite. I think it's a close
independent
race.
People who don't have power, people who don't have really much of a say. We need to vote for those people. You know why? Because they'll be the people who care the most about the people.
I think it's like if Danielle Smith wins, then the Edmonton and Calgary can look forward to 4 years of like BLM style, Antifa style racial protests or whatever. And then if Notley wins, the country can look forward to being overthrown by the people.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Come here. Come here.
There's always rumors like that in parties. Most of them never come to fruition. If you will, they have no fecundity.
We smallows gotta do it. They will not produce someone that will end them. Right?
Canada is literally in a dangerous place. If you
okay,
deny
bud?
that, you're probably a fucking invader. Or an invader sympathizer.
What the heck is going on? Kenny was ousted. Oh, yeah?
He resigned. Anyway, I don't actually follow Alberta politics that closely, but I'm willing to starting tonight.
I hear that if Danielle Smith wins, she will still be out in a couple of months. Maybe.
Yeah, it's one of those party rumors. It's like they'll find another party leader
What are you doing?
because reasons. But if she wins on those comments, like they were just saying on the CBC, they're like, this bitch fucking said that COVID mandates were like Nazi Germany. If she still wins because of that, I mean, we don't have to replace her as leader. We have to realize that what she's saying is what people fucking agree with.
I totally agree, Proc. Totally agree. What? My phone is charging. What's going on here? There. Do you know Fidel Castro? Who? Trudeau's dad?
I actually came up with a new, more credible theory that Trudeau is actually Pierre's son, but of the cousin of Fidel. So, anyway, we'll do a news stream for that.
Danielle, I ain't never seen the truth like that before. You so true, you so right. Actually, I've seen it before, but you know. When people talk about the people taking over, I think it would be no better or worse. Hell, no one can agree on anything as it is. Can you look at a picture of Fidel Castro? I don't want to. I think Fidel is a scum. Scum. I'm going to put some shatter on my cigarette, and everyone's going to get mad at me because they think I'm wasting a bunch. How's that sound? Yeah, that sounds great. What do you think, Proc? You going to watch me waste a little bit of shatter or what?
Thank you for warning me, because I'm going to look away.
You funny guy.
Dude, use a bottle, man. Just use a bottle.
Mm-mm.
Or make your point smaller. You're dragging it off the smoke? I never do that.
I just put it on the cigarette and smoke what I can.
Yet, look at all the THC being spread into the air. It's almost like he's giving a sacrifice to the pot gods. Like he worships pot or something.
It's to the homies. It's to the homies who aren't with us today.
There you go, bud. Fucking A. We made it.
And now it's done. Just cigarette. Oh yeah, I got a little bit of tobacco in that one. Oh. have the Jonah curry mushrooms. Ha! Freedom offerings, right? The extra goes to the homies who have passed from unwilling to get, you know what, just to keep their jobs and families, and to the ones who fought wars, to the ones who fought for our freedoms, to the ones who know that there's a right way and a wrong way of doing things, not just a wrong way or just a right way. And yeah, it's to them. Gone but never forgotten.
Literally anyone who has died during the fight for freedom, whether you agree with their politics or not, we all want our own freedom.
Right.
So I'm trying to evolve the ideas of certain other channels, and I just want to say, like, we all fucking love having freedom. So that's the, you know,
I love
let's
having
start
freedom.
there.
Oh yeah, Torrid. To answer your question, what's new? I got a great job, about to move into a great place. My life is looking fucking fantastic. You know? But yeah. What's going on? Let's look some shit up. Let's find some shit to talk about.
Oh, we could put on the election again.
Go to sleep, guys. It's like 4. See ya. I'm out. Have a good night, dope as fuck. Torrid, I'll be driving
A
this.
path forward and a positive message. I think there was some exhaustion with some negativity, and I think people wanted to see a party with a strong platform, and especially one focused on growing our economy. That's what we had to offer, and that's why I think there was so much momentum, especially going into the last
Much
2
love,
weeks
DFP,
of
so
the election.
freedom.
It was a hard-fought campaign, a bit of a weird one maybe for some of us who are more used to political campaigns. You said you just got off the doors. What were you hearing today in your riding? Yeah, I mean, the last day of a campaign, when you're getting out your vote, you're going back to your supporters and you're hearing from them and checking in if they're still with you and they've already voted. So many people got out to vote in advance polls. I think part of that was convenience, part of that was excitement to see us get reelected. And so that was very exciting. But I mean, even yesterday, some of those undecided saying, you know what, I'm going to go with you guys. You've been doing a good job. You've got a great platform, and I trust you to take Alberta forward. Those undecideds have been one of the big stories of this race so far, and we're going to see how those break a little bit tonight as more results come in, Rob.
Hey, why is a burger called a hamburger if
red Tories, PC
it's made out of
supporters
beef?
really didn't identify with the direction that the UCP has been going under Danielle Smith and the insurgent movement that's sort of supporting her and trying to take over the party apparatus, take back Alberta crew.
Yes, Torrid, I'll be working in Fort Mac.
I'm personally proud that my family moved to Alberta recently and voted for Rachel Notley. Now, they want to take Alberta forward.
These are early results, but yes.
No one likes Notley.
Oh, my family from BC does. Because they want, like, Trudeau-style politics to now be in Alberta.
Well, that's just gay.
Oh.
Why do Canadians call chicken sandwiches chicken burgers? Because it's chicken as a burger instead of a burger. It's chicken burger. I ain't call no chicken burger no damn chicken sandwich. Come on now. Get with the times. Get with the Canadians. Get with the Canadians, y'all. Fuck, I want to take a dab, but my fucking dabber broke, man. Oh no, I'm gonna send shatter everywhere. Chicken sandwiches are different than chicken burgers. But they're not. A chicken sandwich is a chicken burger, and a chicken burger is a chicken sandwich. Know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Oh shit, eh? I was wondering why it was so damn quiet.
My bad.
But Trish, chicken burger. There's burger. There you get the burger. Look at total 47. Lead by 24. Oh, look at that. One. One.
Chicken burger is whole breast.
Heck yeah.
Chicken burger is not ground. Sorry. That's like ghetto shit or whatever. Ground chicken.
Right? You know what really sucks though is that I gotta end this live soon.
Yeah, I'll keep it going if you want.
Yeah, if you want to keep it going, that's dope. I'm gonna run out of data. And Chris
Just
should
like
be on.
Yeah, if Chris joins, that'd be dope, and we'll just try to cover the Alberta election. I feel like I'm in the bathroom right now. See that?
Heck yeah.
Well, you don't, because I got the light off, because no one needs to actually see that. But
I've heard of ground chicken.
it's an important night for Alberta. Ground chicken's all right. I've had ground chicken burgers. They're fine. But nothing beats a goddamn... And Coda knows this more than anyone. Fucking fried chicken. You put that between two buns and you got yourself magic.
Fuck yeah. Lucifer had chicken tonight. Me and him had chicken for dinner. Chicken. But I gotta go get him some water and yeah. Procky. Hello from Alberta. Hey Ray Ray.
Okay, well, I didn't have any poopies, so I'm gonna get up from the bathroom.
Trish, give it up. You're hockey gods, but are confused as fuck about burgers. Oh my god. Sausage patties could be a burger too, I suppose. LO ground sausage, savory. Right? Call it a sausage burger.
We're in Edmonton, so you gotta expect it. But in all seriousness, I mean, there's a lot of really hardworking.
I'll give you a sausage burger, all right.
Both teams, really. I know, the NDP has pulled together the strongest campaign team that I think the country has ever seen for a provincial election like this. And a lot of voters are voting NDP for the first time. So there's a lot of people with a lot at
Democrats.
So I think if anyone has nailed,
let's watch these
they're going to be doing pretty well.
fucking people melt down before our eyes.
And the other thing is when it
I
comes
just
to
watched her get more votes in front of us.
Usually when we talk about elections,
we created Caesars.
we're talking about the issues.
Yeah, we did.
We talked about.
Fuck, hour and 40 minutes. Hold on, how much data have I used?
Democrats and Republicans. Yeah, I know my gangster rap.
Okay, you're lucky. We're good for a bit, but
I'm lucky.
Wow, why is my phone dying while it's charging? That's dumb.
I'm just pleasuring you with my last day on YouTube.
Well, I'm gonna stick around. I'll be here. I just gotta be right back. I gotta go run and grab Lucy some water. Yeah.
All right, well, go. Don't use data on it if you don't have to. I'll add you in if I have to.
Oh, I can just automatically join. I was just gonna grab water. I have enough data to stay alive for a bit.
Talk about what we expected to see on what you expected to see on the campaign trail. Right in there, issues that weren't.
I guess UCP is like Republican Party.
Republican. We aren't a republic.
No,
we are a
That's
dominion.
why I was thinking about how to answer that.
Yeah, we're not a republic. We're a dominion.
Fuck that. We're citizens.
We are what we are.
We're all. Think about it. Canada.
Wait, look at this.
Big.
Look at this pointy face, curly hair.
Yeah, but Canada.
She's probably really concerned.
Country. We're like a bunch of people who aren't really from here, but from here. You know.
Well, that's why these election panels are never diverse. We'll just put it that way.
Van is comfy. Yeah, I know. I still got enough gas in my car to move my car a couple more times. I'm not worried about it. But
I mean,
James,
if they really did this the way they wanted to, it would be a panel of all black people.
I'm gonna need you tomorrow, James. Maybe.
They do it with everything else. Why wouldn't they do it during an election? You live in a clown world, all of you.
We already know 750,000 in advance polls alone. So we're dealing with a small sample size. Nevertheless, we have ourselves a race, 14 UCP out in front, and some orange on the board. 4 ridings where the NDP are currently leading with those small margins. Jessica Yang here to bring us some details on that. Where are you going to take us here?
Well, let's take a look at that first one that the NDP were able to put on the board. Bonneville, Cold Lake at St. Paul, where Scott Sear and
Probably
Lake leading with 8 votes right now. And it's early. Look at how low these numbers are. But the NDP right now is leading in that specific riding. Calgary Varsity now, where Jason Copping, just 1 vote. Is it a lead when it's that small?
Jonah Curry is James. Stop.
Small. Let's take a look now at Calgary Northwest, where Rajan Sani again leading.
There's no Republicans here, Jonah.
It almost makes you scratch your head. You would think would they actually votes to make maybe
I will, James, because tomorrow's the last day I have to get everything set up before work. So
well, Edmonton, Beverly, Clare,
I'm going to be up early in the morning and getting shit done right away.
Fucking A, bud. I'll text you.
Would be a surprising change if this were the final kind of picture.
I was up at 6 today. Tomorrow I'll be up at 5.
Let's find out what that final picture looks like. It's going to take a bit of time.
That sounds like it. Fortress Edmonton, obviously, for the NDP. We would be surprised if
Brock said pointy face. She's not like a greyhound.
We'll have to keep our eye on that one. Varsity is an interesting one.
Listen to this fucking guy. He looks like fucking an older version of fucking Charlie Sheen. I don't know. Maybe he does shoot coke. I don't know. Fuck, but like shit, look at him.
UCP can hold on to that seat. It tells you it's going to be a good night.
He kind of looks like he'd be a Bob.
Very hopeful. And someone who knows all about NDP hopes on the night is
that Jenny Kwan?
Down at NDP headquarters at the West End in downtown.
Oh, no, it's not.
Yeah, they're all basically commie parties, Jonah. It's all
Jenny Kwan was this chick looks like she takes bribes from the CCP, or at least she's being watched by them. I mean, we have to admit this that CSIS has not been honest about who the Chinese are spying on.
Well, that and yeah, come on out.
Focus on the things that Albertans care about. One, making sure we
That
fix the
and
healthcare
like,
system and getting everyone a family doctor. Making life
dude,
more affordable and getting bills under control.
how
And then,
many
of course,
people
a real
are in the
costed plan
pockets?
to
Like,
build
it.
an economy.
Think about it
And
this
then the
way:
second is
whoever's
kind of a
got
funny
the
one: a
majority of the
stable,
vote,
credible,
those are
competent
the
government,
people
which
who
has
are
not
in
been what
somebody's
Alberta has had
pocket.
for the past 4 years.
Those
It
are
may
the
not be
people
that
who you
novel,
probably
but
don't
it's
want to
something that I
win.
think all Albertans
So I'd change my
At the
vote
same
at
time,
that
though, there was a
point,
lot
and
of
I'd be like,
focus,
no,
as we
okay,
talked
I'm
about,
going to
on
this person
leadership,
instead.
character, integrity, and there were a lot
Jonah, Curry, i.e. John Curtis, yes, they are all commie parties.
comments, her record.
That's not John
Are there any
Curtis.
concerns that going?
I don't know. That's what my dyslexic brain decoded it as. So,
well, I think we can say confidently,
as long as
that
John's
every
dyslexic.
day talking about her offer to Albertans and working to earn Albertans' trust and keep that trust. If there is a negative narrative around
I think
Daniel
it's
Smith
all
and
a bunch of
DCP, it is
fucking
certainly
bullshit.
one that they built themselves to a string
Elections are
of
rigged,
unhelpful
campaigns
comments, of
are
flip-flopping, and a
rigged,
string
all
of
the
unearthed
fucking
videos where Daniel Smith
foundations of all of it are
campaigned throughout her
rigged.
entire career for Albertans.
Like,
By the way, I
it's
was 100% joking. My family who moved to Alberta all voted for Daniel Smith. I totally was joking. I gaslit all of you, and it was awesome.
Ray, I don't like her face. Right? She looks like she should be standing next to Ken doll and just giving up on her life. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
Oh.
The plastic. So is my imagination.
Not going to see for a little bit is Rachel now that we understand that she's
Yeah, I'm dyslexic
You can
on
place
Clown
me
World.
here and everywhere. Whatever that part of the song is.
You can brush my hair and undress me, I don't care. In Trudeau's broom closet. Oh yeah, you know you want it. Oh
yeah. All right. Never mind. I was trying to come up with something funny, but you are way funnier than me, sir.
Oh, I just can't. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Lucifer, see, you know what Lucifer thinks of her? He's licking his balls going, I don't care, man. They taste better than looking at your ugly face.
To Cheryl Oates. So Cheryl.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. You're beautiful, but you have an ugly soul.
Somebody's got to tell her that get off the spin cycle.
Did I still said it wrong? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're just ugly inside and out.
Totally not a spry. Spy.
Was to send a message to those soft.
Baroon Totore, not spy.
Trying to essentially suppress a vote.
Sick sicka. You're sick sicka.
Fuck, the sad thing is that like we have actual Chinese heritage citizens who believe in Canada and its freedoms, and everything is being corrupted and their families are being threatened, and we live in a dictatorship. It's fucked up.
Jonah, go Trump. Yeah, go Trump. Hey, at least you guys actually had a military and some decent shit. Like I watched a video go viral of Trump giving a like a reporter journalist lady a job in the middle of a fucking what do you guys call those things when you go and you speak in front of the cameras, and but one of those things, and she asked him a question and he answered, and she said something else, and then he said, do you want a job? And she said, yeah. And he said, you're hired.
Now, I hope chat forgives me for saying this, but in my opinion, Trump is a kind of a nigger faggot, zogbot. And
hey, you can't talk like that here.
I'm sorry, but like honestly, he didn't do anything when he was in power, and I'm shocked how many people think he's going to do something now.
Meh. I don't think anybody's going to do anything. I think everybody's just going to let everybody in the world burn, and they're going to stand by while they're the ones causing it and say, well, I didn't do it. I wasn't part of it. I didn't do it. I didn't know. Just like all these Alberta fires, all these people like are offering their hand, their help, their food, their money, their everything, and they're getting turned around and rejected. Like that's just ridiculous.
There, but not impossible. One of the ridings that they had targeted is where Rajan Sani is.
Sad, man. But what I felt during the any protest I actually go to, I have to say, like, I feel the energy of the people, and that is the energy of it is supposed to be the energy of the government. when the energy of the people is in conflict with the government, you have a fucking problem. And then when the government like squashes you out, no matter who you are, whether it's convoy, Black Lives Matter, I don't care, any movement gets squashed by the government, you have a fucking problem. So anyway,
Trish KB, your on the fly rhymes are scary good. No way.
On a night like tonight, I'm sure they were nervous down there. It wasn't exactly the smoothest of campaigns, Elise. What are you hearing there?
hey Coda.
What?
Doesn't matter. One poll recording doesn't matter. Early days doesn't matter.
Do you have a joint?
Not rolled, but I could have one rolled like faster than He-Man could sing a song.
Shit, let's have a roll-off contest, but let's have a countdown.
Okay, well, hold on. I'm gonna put my bud on my tray.
That's fair. That's fair. Me too.
Let me know when your bud's on your tray.
Go, let's go. Hold on. And we're going for like a medium-sized joint here, right? Like not a super blunt.
No, I'm just rolling one paper, one joint.
One paper, one joint. Okay. I think I have a fair amount here.
Are you ready? I got my grinder.
Also, it's funny, I'm using scissors too. So, hey, shout out to you, Pooh Scissors.
Okay, well, here. I'll put my grinder down.
You're gonna do scissors?
Hippie pick it, bud.
You're gonna hippie pick it?
Let's go.
Wait, did you already start?
Nope.
That's not fair. You got to use your buster.
Nope.
Okay, I'll hippie pick it too then.
Nope. Use your scissors. I'm gonna show you. I'm a boss. You ready? Look at my tray. There's not enough to roll a joint, and there's all my buds. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm using my scissors.
I just used my hands. That's all.
You can use your buster.
No, you would have heard it by now, wouldn't you?
I know, but I mean, like, I think it's fair.
It is pretty fair.
Like, I can cut fast. Well, maybe not as fast as Buster.
Hey, Procky. How fast are you?
You're a cheater. Dirty cheater.
Okay, fine then. Here, look. Container full of bud. More bud. I'll take a bud out. You're still rolling that joint. Keep going. I'll roll another one. I'll hippie pick more right here, right now. Just to show you I'm not a cheater.
Okay, well, to be fair, your pot's probably really low quality then.
Procky, other than
oh no, I tore the rolling paper.
Low quality weed.
I tore the rolling paper. I'm disqualified. Oh, that's horrible. It's over. It's over. Sorry.
That's two.
Yeah, also, you're a cheater.
And they're perfect too.
I mean, you
I'm
can
not a
do that
cheater.
with.
I know how to roll.
No, it's just that, like, if you're picking apart bud, like, if your bud is good quality, that's hard to do. But if it's a poor quality, you can do it faster than scissors. So
Dude,
what I took from this is that you
my
have poor quality bud.
I always smoke good quality weed. That weed's not even fully dried out or nothing. I won't lie to you. There's a couple chunks in my joint.
Yeah, that was a challenge initiated by me and lost by me.
I rolled 2 with my fingers. So
Yeah.
ladies, I am very good with my hands. Just kidding.
Just kidding, I'm not.
I am, but Ray, wait, what? Wait, what?
I stepped to the coda, I lost. It's fair game.
Oh, I'm good with my hands. I'm good with my mouth. I'm good with my joints. I'm good at smoking them, inhaling them, blowing them out. Ha! Y'all probably thought I was going to say something else. You suck. I win.
Uh-oh. So I guess the UCP won.
What?
I think they need 44 for a majority, and they got 47 now. Huh. There you go. I guess it's over. Danielle Smith, fucking queen. Let's fucking... We got to give her a goddamn celebration.
What's she saying?
Look at that right there. 44 seats for
No, but
majority.
what is she saying?
Oh, she's not on right now. I don't know. She's probably already knew this would happen.
Look at.
And she's like, okay, activate plan 8 or whatever. Plan 9.
It's a long ways from over. Yeah, exactly, Deckard.
Why though? It's 44 for majority, and they have 47. It says 44 seats for majority. That's what it
But they
says.
still got to get all the votes in. They still got to get all their votes in.
Yeah, but they have a confirmed 47 seats. I think that's how elections work. Jonah Curry thinks that the UCP are commies. That's interesting.
They're all commies. It's all rigged. They're all commies. They're all against us. It doesn't matter. Example, Airdrie
Unless I'm
has
mistaken.
only reported 1 of 20 polling stations.
Airdrie, sure, but it still says that 44 are needed for a majority. UCP has 47 confirmed seats. Whether Airdrie has reported in or not, it to me here and on Coda Stream, it says 44 needed, 47 confirmed. Am I wrong? Am I missing something?
Big difference. Yeah, maybe you're not wrong there, Mima. Still, though.
And yes, the Canadian Conservative parties are basically communists. Yes, I agree with that. It's true. We agree with things like universal healthcare.
I think all healthcare should be free.
Well, there's no such thing as free.
Oh. I'm still here.
That's not necessarily true because socialism and fascism have been intertwined for millennia. Okay, I'll put on the audio
What's
again.
that say there?
Let's listen to this nerd.
Just like Banff can't ask us now. So Banff will be an NDP strength. Jasper's an NDP strength in West Yellowhead. Let's wait and see when Edson starts rolling.
They're seething and melting down.
Yeah, this is part of the fun of watching the numbers come in. You're trying to figure out where did they come from, what can we learn from them.
See, this is why we have you here. This is the conversation. And I'm sorry you don't have a camera on us the whole time because again, it's interesting to hear your different perspectives and to be able to provide that. And again, as we're looking at that map, I know Jessica has been immersed in it over the past few weeks, ever since this campaign started. So I'm interested to hear how that's shaking down, what it looks like when we look at that map of Alberta, because again, it's a very different story if you look from the north to the south and in the main centers, rural, urban. It all tells a story as to what we're going to see tonight or what we could see tonight. I'm really interested to see how it plays out, Rob.
Okay, well, let's get into some of those details now. And Nancy was talking about the difference.
Let's face it, most people actually have very fascist tendencies. We learned that growing up on the fucking school ground, It's like, I don't agree with you, and I'm going to use violence to silence you. I think this is like a very normal part of humanity.
Hey, that's enough. Yeah, see, look at the UCP just went down 2 votes.
Humans are horrible, but
holy shit!
It's kind of a it's. Did someone say broom earlier? I heard something about a broom. Anyway. Oh, 45 now. Oh, so it goes down.
Hey!
Why?
When I said, listen to your dad, he actually stopped for a minute.
Humans are little piggies. Little piggies.
Okay. Hey, knock it off.
Little piggies.
No more. No more.
And like, if my dog comes through there, I'll kill it.
Right? Humans are pigs. Yes. Yes, exactly. I agree.
So it really, and we talked.
You know what? You know what I have to say in everything that I've learned in my life is the number one purest animal in the entire world who knows good and bad and can actually be a good example is a dog.
Except when it comes to rolling in dead fish. Here you go.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, except for when it comes to Lucifer rolling in dead fish and dogs. Some dogs are territorial.
He gets no individual.
Like Procky's dog, he's very territorial. Him and Lucy, they're best friends outside. As soon as they both run inside, it's nope, you're in my home. You go by my rules. What I say goes.
and my dog is such a fucking infant brain. It's like he doesn't even know what the rules are yet. He's just like, okay, I know that you're fucking out of here. But yeah, that was funny.
Hey. Oh shit.
You can just set it into the sink.
49.
I do have vodka.
I love cats better. I don't like cats better. No, I'm not drinking. I'm done drinking.
So sad how many people actually vote for the NDP still.
Especially when you're your age.
I just want to work and make money, stack up. When I'm old enough to retire and I know I'll have a good, whatever for the rest of my life, then maybe I'll pick up drinking again. Exactly. Or on camping, or I've always been the guy though, like the last 8 years of my life, it's been like I usually only drink for occasions, right? Like if I go camping, someone's birthday, Christmas, New Year's, like shit like that, I'll drink, right? But I won't get stupid.
I think Bev was like driving to work.
Yo, beer guy. Hey, yo, what's going on? What up, beer guy?
I was just talking to Bev and then
you're beer guy. My buddy cooks stir fry, and I'm sitting here getting very high. Oh, yeah. Well, UCP went back up 4 votes.
At least NDP's losing.
But yeah, that's a good thing, as long as NDP doesn't win.
Beverly said that.
NDP were people that fucking like laughed in Bev Noel's face and treated her like scum. And when she told the story about how her children passed, they just kept laughing at her.
I love her. She said she was voted in.
Like they're fucking scum. The NDP, they're just scum. That's all they are. Go NDP, go. Just kidding. The beer guy there. One of the viewers there.
I'm just kidding too.
He was
That's
like,
an interesting writing there.
I think dark handsome guy is correct. UCP will win.
Some of the writings, like you gotta, it's like,
But independents are going to get more votes than ever before.
Some of the NDP do have more votes, but most of the UCP have the votes.
Still, we're going to see that there was a lot more votes for independent than ever before. Because people were dying for a change. Whether we get it or not. And that's what matters.
We stuck with them in BC.
I don't think he could. He already voted too, so he's good.
Ray, I don't like anyone. Me neither, girl. Me neither.
Yeah, but you have to like pick the best of all the evils, which is the least of the evils.
I actually kind of love Danielle Smith. I have to be honest.
Chris Guy for mayor.
Like, she's pretty badass. She's like, she already said, like, if the feds won't cooperate with us, we'll forge our own path. I mean, that's fucking badass. No premier ever says shit like that.
My buddy said he would, and I was like, take a picture.
I didn't hear a word you just said.
It's my fault.
I don't like anyone. Yeah, we stuck with them in BC.
Where's your thing? You want to just use the bowl, or you want to just use your torch? It's probably easier if we just use the torch. Because my bowl probably won't come out.
Because it's so glued in there, you got to be careful with it.
Gotta heat it. Just preheat it. Just take the torch and go. It's gonna be very, 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 very gentle.
I had hundreds of fucking glass bones. Let's see if it even fit in mine.
You might need some tinfoil. All right,
this looks bigger.
You got some.
It doesn't even tip. It just sits there.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know where the bottom went. I cleaned everything, dude, and I can't find the bottom to that. So I don't know when it broke. 6 seats.
I wonder if I could stuff it.
Seats to come, 6. Yep.
I wonder if you could huck a big chunk of glass in there, custom fit it, dude, sit in there and then heat that shit.
Excuse the fuck out of me.
This is the best tool ever.
I've already got one ready. It's been sitting there since you said I got a dabber.
Not of this, you don't. This is that push.
Yeah, feel that.
This is special, bro.
Feel that. I barely even used it.
Yeah. My second one, I barely used it. But I also use it to barbie. To barbecue.
I'm taking a dabber there, boys.
Let's see how your torch heats up. And be careful when you fall. Mine's about to break too, bro. $5.50 to break this glass one and pretty much fuck my metal.
Let's see. Honk the door.
Every time I look at Tina, she's like, Dad? I'm can get titanium ones like that, I need to order a couple, but they won't be here for a couple of weeks. Yeah, it would be over if I ordered already. But it came up quick. I should probably grind the bottom off as well, the new one on before.
Oh, I held that in too long.
Don't hold it in at all.
No smoke even came out. I fucking held it in way too long.
I never hold that crap, and I'm just like.
Okay, let's start with Edmonton Riverview. Right now, we are seeing that Lori Sigurdsson, who's held his riding since 2015, leading with 34 votes. That's not very much, almost just squeaking by for the lead in that riding. And now we'll take a look at Leduc Beaumont, where the NDP holding strong, 586 votes over the NDP. Again, this is where the NDP wanted to be making strides, and that's not what's happening right now. Fort Saskatchewan, Vegreville, 69 vote lead for the UCP in that riding so far. So right now it looks like that Edmonton donut is staying largely blue, a little bit of orange, but largely blue. What does that mean for everything else? I feel like there's a lot more people in this room who are going to provide some excellent analysis.
Yeah, Jenna Brown being one of them, and I do want to go to Jenna, but first, in just a second, we're going to get some analysis, thank you, Jessica, from a retired poli-sci prof who's with Julia Wong at ABP headquarters here in Edmonton. So, Julia, who do you have alongside you who's no longer tethered to tenure and has to worry about speaking for the institution and can give us the frank view of what's going on here tonight?
Yeah, we are going to get some honest analysis tonight from Gersten Dax. He's a retired political science professor from the University of Alberta, who's also a NDP supporter. That's where we met him, obviously, at this NDP campaign headquarters in downtown Edmonton. Thank you so much for joining us, Gersten. I want to pick your brain a little bit because we never really see two-party races in this province. I mean, talk to me about.
Okay, so this is North Korea level propaganda.
There we go. Now that's a fucking. This one's gonna fucking kill me.
So different from all the other parties, and at the same time, the alternative parties do not have the kind of financing that the UCP and the NDP have, nor do they have leader name recognition. So it's difficult to attract new voters.
Is this what we can expect moving forward in Alberta elections? Is this the new normal where we see simply two-party races?
I suspect so, because no matter what happens, I mean, you know, in my mind, unfortunate circumstance that the NDP are not successful, they will have strengthened themselves. They will have demonstrated their credibility to an increased number of voters, and they'll have an excellent launch pad for the next time round.
I want to chat with you a little bit about how the campaign went. What do you think worked? What didn't work for both parties?
I think that the UCP was able to better position itself on economic questions. I think that it suffered in terms of simply the reliability of its leadership and the appearance of extremism and a willingness to translate that extremism into legislative and executive action, which a lot of people, myself included, found quite frightening.
Obviously, you have that political science insight, but for you personally, what is at stake here with this election?
Well, a number of things are at stake. I mean, healthcare. I mean, after 4 years of the UCP being in power, our health system is facing a calamity. And I have grandchildren, and I don't want them to have to wait 17 hours at the scullery to be seen when they are suffering. So that's one concern. Another concern is the new curriculum that my grandchildren are going to be, quote unquote, educated under. And I think it's not a preparation for the decades ahead. It would have been excellent in the 1950s, but that's not the set of skills that young people need as they enter the labor force. So that's just a bit. Also the environment, which has not figured at all in the election, which is certainly disappointing. And makes one wonder what the future for environmental protection is in the next term.
Thank you so much for your insight, Kirsten. Definitely really interesting analysis because you have that background, obviously, in political science, and we're speaking with you as an NDP supporter, so you're able to shed lights on lots of different things. Thank you so much for your insight. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. The UCP crossing a bit of a mental barrier now, as you can see in your scoreboard. They're in the 50-seat range, leading by 18 seats. We have a 32 count for the NDP. So heading upwards is where the UCP vote is going, and part of that is being driven, of course, by share of the vote. We talked about that board earlier. I want to bring Pollster Janet Brown into the conversation, because when we see that share of the vote board, and I think we have it, what you'll note there is not only is the UCP out in front, but the NDP nipping at the heels. What has collapsed, Janet?
Well, I think Elections Alberta has collapsed.
Well, aside from that,
I mean, we're 1 hour in, and they barely delivered 2% of the vote to us.
Yes.
So I know we're trying to make a lot out of it, and I mean, no, I predicted 52-44. I'd like to gloat, but even I can't think that this 2% of the vote is a good way to judge how this night is going to play.
Okay, that's it. Play ball with me. What has collapsed is the Alberta Party vote based on that very small sample that we're dealing with. And so what I'm wondering about is, where do you think that's gone? 9% they got in 2019.
Okay, let's play it out that this is going to be a good representation of the night. What it means is that the UCP has held on to most of the vote they had in 2019. So Danielle Smith has managed to shore up the UCP base. The NDP is doing a lot better than they did in 2019, and that mainly comes from...
Fuck this Chi-Com bullshit. This bitch literally tried to say, I won't go through with this. You can't make me say something based on 2%. And they're like, okay, but even though you're trying to stand up for yourself, can you actually just say what we want you to anyways? And she just tried, and I'm sorry, I have to mute her because that's just bullshit propaganda. Fuck CBC. Anyway,
I agree.
That's horrible to see. She's like, you're forcing me to make an opinion about 2% of the vote. And they told her to shut up. Anyway, sorry, I'm starting to rant.
That's okay. I probably got to run out of here anyway, because I'm going to run out of data. It's 9:05 and I got to be up at 5 in the morning. So.
Okay, well, do you want me to cover the rest of the Alberta election for you? Because I'll do that.
If you would like to, that would be awesome.
It's spicy. It's a spicy one.
Right. Well, I got to be up at 5. I got to get shit done. I don't know. Maybe I might sleep in a little bit, but I can't. I can't because I got to get on schedule. So I'll be waking my ass up bright and early.
Yeah, word. Well, I can definitely click end broadcast. So it's up to you. It's up to you.
Perfect. All right. Well, fucking thanks for chilling, Proc. Thanks for covering this. And thanks, everyone, for joining. And peace, love, and freedom.
Yeah, peace, bro. We'll talk soon. And by the way, officially my last day on YouTube.
I got everything right. Might not be, though. But is. But might not be. But is. But might not be.
It's a technicality kind of thing.
Oh, that's a technical foul. All right. Peace, love, freedom. I'm out. Well, we can start a roofing company and
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
lead over Drew Farrell, longtime city councillor in Calgary. Let's take a look at the next result in Calgary Edgemont, where Prasad Panda leading with just a slim 18 votes. But look, not many votes have actually been counted in this specific riding. So it feels bizarre at this point of the night to be saying it's early, but it is early in terms of how many votes have been counted. Calgary Northwest and Rajan Sawhney, well-known name within the UCP, leading with 60 votes over the NDP. This is the picture that we're seeing right now. That's why you're seeing a lot more orange on that map within Calgary, but still a lot of the story to come.
Yeah, can I jump in on your map and highlight a couple of things so they stand out to me, Jessica? Thank you for that. So the UCP has had so much blue in this city, given that the NDP only had 3 ridings going into this, right? They were inner city. They were Buffalo, they were Mountain View, they were McCall, Bullard McCall. So right now what we're looking at is they're kind of holding what was expected. What they needed was the suburbs. They needed this part of the north in particular to go orange. But they are making some interesting, although it's early, incursions into the south of Calgary. So this is Fish Creek, if I'm not mistaken. This is west, where we just heard Mike Ellis talking. This is a riding that's gone traditionally toward Duluth for a long time. So it's so kind of misleading at this hour with so few votes in, where you see areas where the NDP thought they had things wrapped up, still sitting in UCP blue, and then areas that should be strongholds for the UCP going orange. All of this to say we're a little confused and we need some clarity, which means we need some more votes. So I'm going to let you get back to seeing what
Thank you for the lesson. I love that.
You know, I live there, so it's a lot easier for me to walk through that. Thanks, Jessica. No need to tread on your territory. Let's get back to the panel because I know they're looking at that map. They're both very familiar. Leah and Evan, who lives in Calgary for sure, very familiar with the knife-by-knife fight, riding-by-riding fight that I was referencing there, Nancy. What are they noticing with this limited count right now that's standing up for them?
Mm-hmm. That is actually what we have been talking about, because as we're looking at these small numbers coming in, something that has stood out to our panelists is that we're not really seeing anything at all from Calgary. I don't know if that's changed. Is there anything coming in from Calgary yet?
Yeah, we're still waiting for a lot of information to come out of Calgary. Like we talked about earlier, Morinville, St. Albert, I only bring it up again because we've actually seen some substantive votes there. That's a bit of a bellwether riding, so I think the UCP have reasons to be optimistic so far, but there are a lot of, like, we just talked about Calgary West. That would be an absolute shocker if that goes NDP, but there's very little votes out there.
I broke those rules pretty bad.
Looking on the board, Cardston Siksika is currently labeled for the NDP. That's highly unlikely to be that way at the end of the night. So there's a few ridings there that I
don't know what happened to Jonah.
Board pretty quick. Whether the trend holds, we'll wait and see. But as anxious as our friend Janet upstairs to see some more votes come in.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to do something a little bit daring, and I'm going to move away from Calgary for this discussion. I know. I'm interested. Okay, so what does the vote mean? What does this mean for the areas outside of the major centers? What are you watching for, and what are you hoping is going to be kind of like the first thing that you can talk about after this election?
Well,
Stephanie Berry, it's up to you to say when to end the stream.
This whole election talking about Battlefield Calgary, and it's not. It's actually Battlefield Alberta. I appreciate that both the NDP and the UCP, promised dollars that go into Calgary and supporting that aging infrastructure, changing around, building economic development. That's awesome, but other municipalities still need that as well. Personally, I can say, for myself, the Stony Plain, we need a rec center. The last one we built was in 1967. So 53 years ago was the last time that we built a rec center within the town of Stony Plain. And that was done with the collaboration of the Canadian government, the provincial government, and the municipality.
He was done with his collaboration with the... Wait, is he a spy?
Out during this whole, nomination, give me the vote stuff. Like, if an idea is good before the election, it should be good after the election. So the idea of supporting municipalities, I 100% support
He sounds
that.
very suspicious. Like, he sounds shaky.
Rec centers since then.
100%. So that's why, and our population has tripled since then, and just the surrounding area.
Wow. And again, demand has obviously increased. What about you, Angela?
Yeah, I mean, the rest of Alberta is going to be looking for quality. So
Well,
there's a whole bunch
I said it's your
funding
decision.
announcements that were made in Calgary, and there were. I mean, the UCP promised $33 million for not an arena, I'm told, but infrastructure around.
I don't
an
like
arena.
this woman.
We saw the NDP come in with quite a large number
for recreation and other investments into Calgary. We didn't see a lot of it.
Also, it's really funny how much they all cope so hard with what's happening right now.
In Calgary, making promises.
They're like
trying to buy
seething
those
and
votes.
coping.
And it really shows that if you're always voting exactly the same and consistently blue or consistently orange, nobody has to work.
But also,
for your
there's
vote,
another
and they
degree
don't.
of like
So it would be interesting to see
big time propaganda.
ridings, how that would
It's kind of
shape in
scary.
the next election to try and get a little bit more equality when it comes to campaign promises.
Bring back Don Cherry.
It is, you make a really good point. Like you say, like this is for all of Alberta, right? We are just looking for the two main centers. We are looking for the entire province. And again, it is a large province, right? From the north to the south and to the other borders as well. And Leah, I'm kind of keeping my eye on the bottom here to see what those numbers are doing. And again, still looking at 1-2 votes in some areas. What are you seeing?
It's just too soon. So, I don't want to read anything into numbers that are this low. I think right now we can look to other signals perhaps to try and get a sense of how things might be shaping up. One thing that I think is worth talking about is the days immediately before today when we saw the activities of the leaders or some of their star endorsers. So, for example, where was Rachel Notley stopping on her last day of campaigning? Because that signals where they think they need the extra support or they want to keep momentum going. We can talk about the UCP having Harper, one of their strongest endorsers, show up in Calgary pay again. That's a signal that they might be feeling nervous in a place like that. Of course, not showing up on the board yet, but those are the signals that I think are really interesting to watch in the absence of the actual votes that we're all desperately waiting for.
Right. Yeah. Well, we're saying, I mean, I've covered a few elections in Alberta, and I have never seen these kind of numbers. And Rob, I'm curious, you have covered a few more elections than I have.
I know you're going to do it. Yeah, a couple.
Sorry. But have you ever seen anything like this before?
In terms of how long it's getting the vote, yeah, we've never seen anything quite like this. So we're more than an hour after the polls close, Nancy. We should have a lot more vote than we do. Something's clearly going on. It's been 13 minutes since we've had any new results from Elections Alberta. So Janet Brown is loading up her pistols. Forget about shots fired earlier. She's going to come hard at you, Elections Alberta. Let's get things rolling here. People need to know. What we're seeing right now, I can tell you, 50 on the board for the UCP.
It's super creepy if I do it right. I'm going to stop.
45 ridings out there where the margin between the candidates is less than 20 votes. So as more polls start to report and then Elections Alberta starts to tell us what those results are, things are still going to shift. Nevertheless, it is important to underscore, and I'll do this again, that we all need to be patient because this is the process. But it is really unusual at this point, Jessica, that we're not able to sort of give you a fuller picture with the hard data of where things are going right now. So I mentioned some of those races that are really close. And you're looking at that in the absence of any new information coming in. Tell us how that's breaking down.
Okay, so let's take a look first at Edmonton Southwest. And interesting writing
so disgusting.
Actually held this writing last time. It was the only UCP held riding within the capital city. And look, three-time school trustee Nathan Ip right now leading. The numbers are low, remember, but it's still leading. Edmonton Whitemud, Rocky Pancholi, opposition critic for the NDP, leading right now with 17 votes over the UCP. And now to Lethbridge Eastworth, Rob Miashero, just leading with a single vote. This, obviously, the numbers are going to go much higher as these votes are counted and we get a better idea of what the story is going to end up being in these ridings. But if they stay the way that they are right now, it's going to be an interesting 4 years.
Yeah, that Lethbridge Eats, another great example of the NDP recruiting a candidate who had a record of elected office, right? So Miashiro having sat on council there. Thank you, Jessica. So in terms of what's going on, Elections Alberta has told the consortium that distributes the information to us that everything is going according to plan. So if we're getting a little hot on the collar, they're saying just chill out, people. We'll get there. We'll get there in due time. So put the gun.
This is a national professional broadcast.
Here she is, Elections Alberta.
If this is going to plan.
They literally
a horrible plan.
They sound like a fucking
Full stop. Like, I mean, the polls that are reporting so far.
a lower quality version of a live stream.
Probably prisons. These are.
We've seen tabulators used before, right, at the municipal level. So it was a bit of a flawed launch in Calgary's municipal election. a couple of cycles ago. It was pretty bad. They
This
learned a
reminds
lesson.
me of Calgary 2017. I remember filling up hours on air to try and explain that one. But that was very high voter turnout. There was no automated counting. We sort of, things weren't coming in, but we knew why they weren't coming in. So there's like, what sort of stymies me here is we don't have the machine counted ballots. We don't have the hand counted ballots. Even hand counted ballots would be starting to roll in at this point of the night.
Does it help if I tell you we've got 57,000 votes in the system now out of, potentially 2 million eligible voters?
Yeah, it's
we're getting there. All right, based on that 57,000, which is
This is so cringe. Holy.
they would never be able to afford.
I mean, it
right?
is a
We'd have to
provincial
pay you
election,
a
though.
lot of money to spend time in the field getting 57,000 people.
But the reason as a pollster we can get away with a sample of 1,000 or 1,200.
I'm just saying, we've got a lot of them compared to what you work with. So
No,
we can extract.
but let me make this important point.
All right.
When it comes to polling, a sample of 1,000, 1,200, 1,500, the reason that works is because we try and make sure that it's a truly random sample.
You weighted.
I only weighed a little bit.
Oh.
But we try to make sure that it's a truly random sample and representative. And as Evan said, we don't know where these numbers are coming in. So yes, it's 57,000, but we've got no idea whether it's representative or not.
She's drunk on fat pride.
Elections, Alberta, we're getting lost in polling methodology conversations. These are conversations we have off air. All right, what I was trying to get at is
Fat, blonde, glasses wearing Karen pride.
A look once again at share of the vote. This is the popular vote. And the UCP is surging out on that front. So given the limited amount of vote we have right now, they're actually above what they achieved in 2019 with the popular vote being 55% when they did see 63 seats. And the NDP has dropped a little bit here. They're back into the 30 range. They were 33 in
Sorry, I should
2019.
not
They really
say
need to
things
get
like
it
that.
up there if they're going to be competitive.
But
Now,
look at this
the
blue
vote spread
wave.
at the
Let's
bottom,
go.
Is telling you the tale, 53 to 32 in the scoreboard. Let's take a look at the seat change. So this is what's going on. NDP up by 9. They need 11 more seats to win a majority. The UCP down by 9. They were down by 10 last time we checked in. So they're trending in the right direction here. They can afford to lose 19 seats and still hang on to power. So we may see a diminished majority government, but still a decisive majority government for the UCP tonight. But it is, we will emphasize, once again, pretty early and unusual. And I'm going to back away from Janet slowly and take the thanks, Janet.
I would do the same if I were you. Yeah.
With a face that you wouldn't have seen in recent years, a former PC cabinet minister, speaking of shots fired, he's been firing a lot of shots in Danielle Smith's direction throughout this campaign.
Okay, they do have a couple zingers here.
He would probably be perhaps the last person you would expect to see at NDP headquarters on election night. But here he is standing right beside me, Thomas Lukazik, former deputy premier with the Progressive Conservatives, with throwing his support behind the NDP in this particular election. Thomas, tell us, what was the reasoning for that?
It wasn't a difficult decision at all this time. I had the pleasure of sitting across the aisle both from Rachel Notley and Danielle Smith, and simply you can't compare the two leaders to each other. With Rachel Notley, we would disagree from time to time on matters of policy, but we have the same core values, values that I imagine most Albertans share. The rule of law, evidence-based policy, science. Same cannot be said about Danielle Smith. Plus, as Jason Kenney says, and not many will ever have me quote Jason Kenney, as he said, insane are running the asylum right now. Danielle Smith has taken the party so far to the sort of populist radical right that people like myself, who are centrist, progressive conservatives, no longer could affiliate ourselves with that. And for the benefit of the province, supporting Rachel was the right thing to do.
Now, you certainly were not alone in throwing your support behind the NDP. You had former Attorney General Jim Foster support the NDP candidate in Red Deer. You also had Doug Griffiths say that he was backing the NDP in this election. Tell me, what difference do you think the support of yourself and those other folks, what difference do you think that made?
I'm proud of my progressive conservative colleagues that decided to make that decision.
He's not proud of them.
It gave this campaign a little bit more momentum. And I hope it normalized what should be normal, that you should be looking at the parties, you should be looking at leaders, you should be looking at candidates, and vote for best reflects your values. People telling me I can't support anything other than conservative because I am a conservative. I don't know what that means. You weren't baptized a conservative. It is not a religion. It's not treasonous. You look at the platform, and if there is another party that better reflects your values, why would you vote against that? So I'm hoping that with passage of time, Albertans will start being more critical voters and analyze the platforms as opposed to having this tribal sense of belonging.
And for you, is this a one-time thing that you're throwing your support behind the NDP, or is this going to be a long-term trend for yourself?
NFG, it's just you and me tonight, girl.
I'll be looking at all the political parties next time, and I'll be looking at their platforms. If there is something of a revival of true progressive conservatism, I'll give it a consideration. But at this point in time, Rachel probably came in the closest to what was normally considered to be progressive conservatism. As a matter of fact, Danielle Smith said that Rachel is closer.
This is an Alberta stream.
Than Danielle Smith herself.
Thank you so much for sharing
BC
what was
is
going on
irrelevant.
inside your head when you decided that you would support Rachel Notley and the NDP. And as you can hear behind me, more results have been rolling in. It definitely is turning into a little bit of a party atmosphere here at the NDP headquarters in downtown Edmonton.
Thanks, Julia. Yeah, we have about 65,000 votes in the system.
Oh my God,
Still
65,000.
hundreds of thousands to be counted. So we know where Thomas Lukaszuk sits with his vote. We still don't know where, eligible.
Okay, well, I mean, geez, what what are we gonna do about this? Can they wrap this up tonight? Can we do this tonight? Or is it like the...
So in the entire riding there, they're holding off on reporting anything until they have a sense of whether or not everyone has gone through that polling station. We were told prior to getting on air at 7:30 that would be about 9:45 or so where we'd start to see results from that riding, Rimbey, Rocky Mountain House, Sundre. That may be in line with where we're seeing major results from other ridings that have been reporting at this point. So we're having a bit of a sense here of where the trend lines are going. We talked about the popular vote, share of the vote. We talked about the seat change. We see our scoreboard there, the UCP leading 53 to 33 NDP. Let's get granular on where some of those UCP pickups might come from. And I emphasize might because an hour and a half in, Jessica, we have yet to project anyone elected in this election.
I know.
But give us a sense of where the UCP strengths are.
Yes, okay, so let's take a look at Drumheller-Stettler first off to start off. Now we're looking at Nate Werner, the most recent Minister of Agriculture and Irrigation, leading with 1,500 votes, quite sizable lead at this point. And now let's take a look at Muskwachees-Wetaskiwin and Rick Wilson with an 1,800 vote lead. He's a well-known name within this area, former county councilor for the county of Wetaskiwin, so not necessarily a surprise. And now let's look at Peace River, where Dan Williams is leading with 2,300 votes over the NDP. So I'm wondering, how did the UCP get to what's like 53 seats? Well, there's 3 of them right there, and it's looking pretty favorable in those ones. Those ones pretty sizable leads, and quite a number of polls reporting their results already.
A lot of Albertans still waiting.
Those 98 people better look out.
Thank you for that. And some of those voters.
No, I'm joking. That is completely a joke.
This campaign, Janet Brown has been conducting
completely joke. This is not my live stream.
We get a random sampling of some people who maybe popped up in focus groups in prior elections that we've leaned on, and some new faces. And Nancy Carlson had a chat with some of those voters prior to getting on the air at 8 o'clock here, and she's going to touch base with them, as you can see again. I wonder if they're getting as impatient as Janet is, Nancy.
Well, really, Rob, there's only one way to find out. I am curious. So we have our voters from across the province.
Okay, where's this blonde Karen's glasses? She must have forgot them.
Is in Edmonton. Hayes is in Grand Prairie, and then Sunil is in Calgary. So hello.
but understand people are.
Oh, damn. I've been muted for a while. Shit. Thanks, Steph.
To get the results out. That's from Elections Alberta. What do you make of it?
You got to be punking me. There's something going on here, and this is not going to plan. And just tell us it's not going to plan. But as I said, this was going to be a big election because we were going to count advanced ballots through machine voting. We had an automated voting stations and all those advanced things. 750,000 votes. I mean, that could be up to half of the people who have voted today. We don't even know what voter turnout was today. So, anyway, you know me, I'm not always patient. And
well, I mean,
this has just been a long month.
At this point in the night, you're right. It's making it even more agonizing because we should be well ahead of where we are.
Yeah.
Where are we in terms of the last time we saw any election results coming in? 10 minutes. So that's unheard of. Right? We know how to manually count. What's the problem with the manual count?
Right. And I'm sorry if I'm seeming cranky, but I don't want to over extrapolate these results. We've hardly seen anything from Calgary now. And it's
we wouldn't want that.
Too much of this because there's not enough here. It's not representative across the province.
Yeah, and it's really
so that's why I'm frustrated.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
You know, we have 56 out of the 87 ridings right now where the result is less. So totally misleading. Potentially, the trend lines that we've been talking about, but the sample size compared to what's to come is still so small. So when Nancy says it's still early, I mean it's early in terms of
this is good. This is funny.
We're asking for you, as clearly Elections Alberta is, to maintain your patience. Janet, I will as well. Jessica has a lot to say about what's been coming our way, and there are storylines.
Okay, Stephanie Barry's a good mod, and yeah, I was mostly just making jokes about how much they are seething and trying to cope. Like, I can't believe the coverage that's even being provided for a provincial election here. It's pretty unprecedented, the coverage in the first place. But the people they put on the panel here, they are seriously trying to cope right now with what's going on live in front of our eyes. It's glorious. Let's try and enjoy.
Lake now with Devin Dreeshen leading with over 600 votes over the NDP. That's the most recent Minister of Transportation. We are keeping an eye on all of these, but as Janet said, as we are hearing, we don't want to make too much of these. Well, we don't have necessarily enough votes to paint the full picture, but from what we are seeing, this is kind of what we're making from now.
It does remind me of the 2017 Calgary municipal election. I went on the air that night. We were all expecting results to be coming in and be able to get off the air and explain to people what happened. I didn't get any results. And so I'm not going to suggest that's going to happen because we've already seen a lot of results. But it was a nightmare scenario, and it was a new system at that time, and they had to work out the kinks. There's a big report issued, and there were learnings from that. You have to assume that the folks at Elections Alberta were a part of that process, and they did some learning. We're waiting on you. And in the meantime, we've got some voices that we want to hear from. So Julie Wong at NDP headquarters at the West.
Yo, if you want to get a voice on the CBC, your time is now. They want to hear from you.
Behind you. Generally, they're glued to the screens, but not so much because nothing's moving, Julia. So
never. They just want to hear from this chick. Never mind.
Janice Irwin, who's standing next to you.
That's right. So as you were just mentioning, Rob, they are glued to this screen because anytime a riding shows up where there is an NDP candidate leading, well, people here are clapping. They are just excited. You can feel that energy really increasing over the last little bit. But as you mentioned, I do have a guest with us, Janice Irwin, who's the NDP candidate for Edmonton Highlands. Janice, I want to chat with you about what this campaign has been like because you have been out there the last few months, knocking on doors, pounding that pavement. Tell me what that's been like for you.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, it's been a lot different from 2019 when I was a new candidate. And now as an incumbent MLA, I've had the opportunity to really knock on doors all over the province. Of course, I never want to take Highlands North for granted, so I try to be there as much as I can. But, spending a lot of time on the doors in some of our key Calgary ridings and in what we call the donuts, so Sherwood Park, St. Albert, Morinville.
Sorry, what she said was, since I've become an incumbent MLA, now I can knock on doors. How fucking sad is that? Jeez, I'm starting to sound like
I've actually never voted NDP, but I don't think I can vote for Danielle Smith and the UCP. And so, I hope a lot of those folks came to us. But
What a surprise.
tonight, where they laid their vote. Yeah, it sounds like it was almost confessionals at the door when you were there. There were a lot of heartfelt conversations for sure. It was a bit of an internal kind of conflict with some folks because, if they've always been conservative, it's a shift for them, right? And as we've been talking about all night and we'll continue to be talking about until we know exactly what's going on, it's going to be such a close race. What do you think is resonating with voters this time around when it comes to the NDP? Yeah, and I mean, I always ask folks when I'm at the doors, what issues are top of mind for you? And not kidding, healthcare, education, the economy, 3 big issues for sure. And I think Rachel and our team have outlined that those will be priorities for us, absolutely. And like I said, a lot of folks were certainly coming our way in the tight ridings that I was in. And so we saw in the 2019 election, there were only 2 parties in the legislature, and there really is only just a 2-party race this time around, no matter what the outcome is. How do you see these 2 parties working together for the benefit of Albertans? Yeah, I mean, time will absolutely tell, but I did hear at the door.
Northern Farm Girl, we'll talk later.
Which I think we offered, and so we're going to have to work together for the benefit of all Albertans. I do think we've seen a bit of polarization. I hear it at the doors. I'm not gonna lie, it's not always kindness at the doors for sure. And so I think Albertans are saying they want us to come together. They want us to work together to build a better province for all. Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much for your time, Janice. And we're going to be seeing more of Janice and other NDP candidates as we see how the race plays out over the next little while, over the next few hours, and we get more and more results coming in.
We do have some more results coming in. Thank you, Julia. You're teaming me up nicely. We had a big dump of about 50,000 votes. So a data dump that we can extrapolate a little bit more information from. The sea change really hasn't moved that much. It's going to go back and forth on the margins here, but the share of the vote is really what we want to focus in on. So the share of the popular vote. The UCP is now sitting with about 108,000 votes into the system at 56% of the popular vote. I'll repeat that in 2019, they won 63 seats, a commanding majority under Jason Kenney, with 55% of the popular vote. The NDP had 33% in 2019. You can see they picked up 7%, and most of that in all likelihood coming from the other parties. So the Alberta Party, for instance, has collapsed. All right, we've got some news to break. Thank you, Elections Alberta. The CBC Decision Desk can project that we have an elected MLA, and it's a familiar face. Danielle Smith will be going back to the legislature to represent the voters in the riding of Brooks Medicine Hat. Of course, she won a by-election there in the fall, and she's now sitting pretty in the legislature as a leader of a party that is currently in the lead with 51 seats is where they're leading right now to the NDP's 35. Here's a live look at UCP HQ. A pretty state affair. I don't know why they're watching that show over there. Ours is rocking, so stay with us, folks. But yes, Danielle Smith has been elected by the people of Brooks Medicine Hat. No surprise there. Traditionally Tory territory. She will be going back to the legislature. The big question now is just how big of a government, if they do in fact go on to for government, how big of a seat count will she have? And that, depending on what that looks like, will raise questions about her leadership. So if it's razor thin, you might think that the knives would be out for her, right? However, the people in the UCP, they're very aware of the fact that for years they've been trailing the NDP in the polls. So think about it, through COVID, not a popular time. So unpopular that a premier who had a commanding majority in 2019 decided, I've had enough. We got 51% endorsement from the UCP supporters and walked away from the party. That sparked that leadership race. Danielle Smith, as an outsider, came in saying, look, back in 2015, 2014, when I crossed the floor as leader of the official opposition of the Wild Rose, I took a lot of heat for it, but I was ahead of my time. I thought the right needed to unite.
Whoa, what did you just say? Wait, and it just went dead. Hold on. What the fuck? What the fuck? Hold on.
Economic record of the NDP in contrast to where the economy is.
I'm not joking.
So
The
far,
stream went dead when he said that.
Small vote that we have into the system, the UCP
Holy.
is benefiting from that. So with a seat count of 51 to 35, the UCP out in front, and Daniel Smith will be heading to the legislature. Again, no surprise there. Smith, you can expect that the other leader, Edmonton Strathcona, the voters there will send Rachel Notley back to the legislature.
The stream was functioning 100% fine until he said the right needs to unite, and then it went dead. That is so creepy.
Member within the legislature. We'll get to all of that. In the meantime,
Creeping me out, bro.
I know different storylines are popping up for you. You have stuff to talk about.
Yes, we do. Let's start in Fort McMurray Lac-La-Biche, where right now we are seeing that Brian Jean leading with a 650 votes, pretty sizable lead over the NDP in this specific riding. And now let's take a look at Spruce Grove's.
Now it's freezing a lot.
Stony Plain. This is where the NDP really wanted to be making gains. So far, that's not necessarily the case with Cyril Turton. 56 vote lead. It's not too large of a lead, but it's enough to say they still got that lead. And Sherwood Park, Kyle Kosowski right now leading with just squeaking by a 14 vote lead in this riding in the Edmonton Donut. But still, right now, we're seeing that most of the Edmonton Donut is leaning blue. Not a big surprise, but the NDP wanted to be making more gains in this specific area of the province.
Talking to a couple of NDP insiders earlier before we got on air, they're expecting pickups of about 3 seats in that donut. So, okay, if they get the...
Why do they keep saying that?
Through Calgary.
It must be a new term. I'm sorry.
Calgary, but they do need those numbers in the donut. So that one looking pretty promising. Early still, again, not a lot of polls reporting in Sherwood Park, but if the NDP can take it, then they'll put one on the ledger and job done. All right, the UCP, that's where we're going to head back to down in Calgary. Elise Von Schiele standing by. In the absence of cabinet ministers, I know you're going to the people, the common folks, and I like to hear from them on a night like this. So turn it over to you, Elise. Who do you have with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, as we know, voters are the ones that elect these people, that elect the people that go on to form the government. So we wanted to talk to a couple of them. So I'm joined right now by Brian Broomhall. He's one of the UCP supporters here. And he was working in Calgary, Acadia on Tyler Shandro's campaign, helping out a little bit. But he lives down in the riding of Highwood. So Brian, how would you describe this campaign and what you've seen from your work on it?
It was quite interesting, actually. When we were doing some door knocking earlier on, there seemed to be a lot of undecided people in the riding, in the city here in Tyler's riding, and certainly out in our area as well. There was certainly interest, but a lot of indecision, I felt.
And how did you see that play out over the course of the campaign? We know undecided voters have been a big story of this election. So what were you hearing from people at the doors as to what they wanted to see from their candidates?
Basically, they knew that in Tyler's area that we were very approachable. They can phone and actually talk to him and not just a worker if they so chose. And they just said that they were going to have to decide on election day today, or maybe if they went to the early polling, I don't know. But they just weren't really too sure. I think the leaders, having the 2 leaders, I think was something that some of them were wrestling with. Some of them were obviously very polarized. As soon as they saw who we were, it was like, see you later, alligator, and others welcomed us. And so I think it all got decided today for a lot of people here.
And tell me more about that. We know the party's gone through a difficult couple of years. We know that when Daniel...
the seethe, the cope.
Very high. That evened out a little bit over the course of the campaign. But what were you hearing from people at the doors when it came to the leader, Daniel Smith?
I think a lot of people have a lot of respect for her, and one of the things that's important is she admits that she's not perfect. She has made mistakes. And I don't think any of us should be living in the past. We should be looking towards the future. And all of us are guilty of making mistakes. And we have to move forward and work together, all of us in this province, no matter what stripe or whether you're native or non-native. All of us people together will carry on, and we'll build a beautiful, strong province and continue on the way our forefathers have.
One of the issues that we didn't hear a lot about during the campaign, but that mattered to you when we were speaking earlier, is a provincial police force. Can you tell me why? Because I think some of the municipalities maybe don't think it's a very popular idea. What about it speaks to you?
Well, one of the things is out where we are, Turner Valley Detachments got a bad name just simply by the way they've treated the Indigenous people in Eden Valley and the area. They're notorious for that. And the thing is, they're not accountable to anyone. You know, they're a bunch of thugs if they want to be. There's some very fine serving officers that I know as well. But I think all in all, when you start noticing that there's more RCMP officers going to prison than there is outlaw motorcycle people, it pretty much speaks for itself. And we look at an event that took place at Pincher Creek a few years ago where an RCMP officer murdered a young rancher in a cell. I know the attending officer that was in the front office while the other officer took him back, and he told me that was definitely no accident. That was not a situation where somebody just grabbed a gun and it went bang.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of reasons.
We do know crime and public safety, obviously an issue in this campaign. So thank you very much for spending some time with us and talking about the issues that matter to you. Thanks, Brian. Thanks very much. Back to you guys in studio.
Thank you, Elise. Yeah, interesting to hear some of the allegations being made there tonight. Okay, so the story continues, right? The big question is, where are all the votes? And I continue to get statements from Elections Alberta. Because I'm getting them, I'm going to tell you what they're saying. Question they're asking: is there anything unusual happening causing delays? Answer: we're not experiencing any issues. We anticipated it would take time to see the reporting of results from the voting locations. Question: have there been any problems with the tabulators? Answer: no, we have not experienced any issues with the tabulators. Third question: do you have an estimate as to when significantly more votes will be coming in? Answer: as soon as the voting locations are done counting them, we will have them. We have 155,000 votes into the system so far. We have 40 ridings where the margin is 100 votes or less. So again, want to emphasize what we're seeing on that scoreboard right now with the UCP out in front, 53. They're leading in 53 ridings to the NDP's 34 with only 155,000 votes. Could be very misleading. So things we expected to go along tonight, maybe for other reasons, because of how close it could shape up to be. But we didn't expect the start of this to take so long. That said, I want to talk about the news that we have made tonight. We have a member projected elected. What are the odds that it would be the leader of the UCP? It's Danielle Smith, the first that we can project, will be heading to the legislature. If their seat count holds, thereabouts, Janet, 53 or so, which is diminished from that 63 count that they had, that commanding majority in 2019. What do you think that means?
Well, I'm zeroing in on the ridings where there's at least a triple-digit lead, like where we have at least a 100-vote lead. And, you know, and the votes that are in there that were the ridings to watch, it looks like most of those ridings to watch so far are going UCP. So although I'm frustrated with the results that are coming in, the ones that I'm seeing seem to be favoring the UCP right now, so this vote count could hold. Now, what this means is they're diminished. But considering how controversial Danielle Smith is, this means that they really held the line. It must also be very heartbreaking for the NDP because of the gains they made. They're up in the total vote. They made a lot of gains. It must be very heartbreaking to them because it looks like they are just not going to get over the line again if these numbers hold.
If they hold, so around 50, 53-ish is where they're sitting right now, leading the UCP. Am I hearing you say that, given that no Conservative premier has seen their mandate out in this province since Ralph Klein, that you think the start of this mandate that Danielle Smith may be receiving from the public, she'll be relatively safe with the knives sheathed for now? Those within the caucus who might think, we lost some seats, they'll be more quiet than if it was closer?
If these numbers hold, I think a lot of people are going to breathe a sigh of relief because this is a big enough majority. I mean, we were talking about numbers like 44, 43, a razor sharp majority. So if these numbers hold, it's a comfortable majority, probably narrower than the Conservatives are used to, but I think it will calm them down quite a bit.
Yeah, well, definitely. Thank you, John. I'm not used to seeing an election win in Alberta where there's a seat loss.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't happened with the Conservative vote since Alison Redford, and before that, I think it was 2001 under Ralph Klein. Usually you see a seat gain. Nevertheless, these are different times. We have a polarized province. It's a two-party race, so that skews things. But if Danielle Smith has done one thing in her brief tenure as Premier in the last 7 months, she's managed to unify that caucus and bring the party together under one vision. It was a very fractured caucus. The party base was unhappy. That's why we saw the previous leader leave in Jason Kenney. All right, Janet mentioned if these numbers hold, we're going to see a lot of disappointed faces at NDP party. I just said party. It's redundant. I get it, folks. At NDP headquarters in Edmonton, where Julia Wong is. One of those faces could end up being David Shepherd, that we don't expect that he will lose his seat tonight. I know we don't have a lot of votes, but he's next to you there, Julia Wong. Is he feeling a little nervous right now?
You know, I think nervous is probably a good word to describe, and just in general, is cautiously optimistic about how this night is going to go. Walk me through that.
Well, you know, we've seen a record number of Albertans stand up to support us with the Alberta NDP. We've seen lifelong Conservatives, prominent, and folks that I've spoken with on the doors who've told me they simply cannot trust and cannot vote for Danielle Smith. So I think this is a shift in the province, where more and more Albertans are open to a more progressive vision for our province, are rejecting some of the hard right positions that have been taken by Danielle Smith and her supporters in groups like Take Back Alberta. So I think this is a really amazing opportunity for us to show the real diversity of Albertans that live here in the province and the views that they hold.
And I feel like that's exactly what we heard from Thomas Dukazik a little bit earlier. Your colleague, Janice Irwin, was speaking to how Conservatives have been sort of lending their vote to the NDP this time around. But in general, what do you think is drawing voters to the NDP?
Well, part of it is people are looking for leadership they can trust. And what we've seen from the UCP over the last 4 years is continual chaos. We've seen them attack and fight with healthcare workers, fight with teachers, fight with pretty much everybody. And then we saw them fighting amongst themselves to the point where I think we lacked proper governance. People could not get through to a minister because they were so busy fighting amongst themselves. And then we had them elect Danielle Smith, who has brought, again, another extreme point of view to Alberta, some very concerning statements on the record, and indeed more infighting amongst the UCP. So Albertans are just really looking for a government that's going to put their priorities first. Better.
More results coming in throughout the night.
Certainly hearing how people feel down there with a lot of cheers in the background as the results are posted on the board. Thank you, Jessica. Those results need to be good for the NDP, needless to say, in Calgary for them to have a chance to form a government. And the big story in Calgary is...
I'm only ashamed of 2 of those bookmarks.
Part of what we can tell you at this point, we have enough vote to do this, is the projected share of the vote right now. So popular vote within Calgary. Currently, it's neck and neck. You can see the UCP sitting at 49%. So in 2019, the number in Calgary pretty much mirrored the provincial number. They had about 55% of the vote in Calgary, the UCP, and the NDP had about 33. The NDP and the UCP currently neck and neck. And really the other party's not much in terms of a difference maker at this point. So that's going to shift, we expect, but it gives you a sense of just how close things are with the limited amount of vote we have right now, and it tells a story. The story is that the NDP, in a battleground area where they need to win, are picking up seats. They need to pick up, I would say, probably another 9 to 10 seats in order to get close to that majority government call that they're looking for. They're nowhere near that right now, but they're trending in the right direction based on the vote that we have in, the UCP down. They expected to lose some seats in Calgary, but right now it's an interesting snapshot given the limited amount of votes, less than 200,000, we have into the system of where Calgary's going. Calgary's one story, and it's been getting a lot of attention. I think it's worth spending some time paying attention to the real soldiers of democracy on a day like this, the voters. And the voters in particular have been affected by the wildfires, who decided to get out and vote today in places that they never would have decided they would be casting their votes, and they're forced to. You've got a snapshot of that, as I understand it, Jessica.
Yes, let's take a look first at Drayton Valley, Devon, where we're seeing the CBC News is projecting that Andrew Boychenko is going to be winning this. Now, he has right now a 3,000 vote lead over the NDP, so it's pretty clear what the picture is there. In West Yellowhead, we were mentioning that riding earlier, Martin Long with an 1,800 vote lead over Fred Kreiner, former teacher and principal in Yellowhead, and now Red Deer South, where Jason Stephen currently with a sizable lead over the NDP and Michelle Bear. We are keeping an eye on these ridings now. Red Deer South, not one of the ones that was affected by the wildfires, but we just want to give a little love to the rural areas. As we spent so much time talking about Calgary, talking about Edmonton, we have to talk about the bigger picture beyond these cities.
Absolutely. That Red Deer South, a really interesting one. So I was speaking with Nathan Rotman, the campaign manager for the NDP, earlier today. Part of what they're talking about when they talk about a path to victory is some of those seats they really hope would go their way, but they don't have a lot of hope for. Red Deer South is in that column right now. And although, again, it's a small vote share in terms of polls reporting so far, it's a pretty competitive race early on. All right. So as we continue to get dribs and drabs from Elections Alberta, we have more and more to talk about, and we have a panel of folks downstairs from where I'm standing with Nancy Carlson, and they're reading the tea leaves as much as they can. Curious to hear what they have to say, Nancy.
Yeah, we definitely have a few talking points right now because, again, as we are seeing just some of these early numbers coming in and which ones are significant. So as soon as we see a few extra 1,000 votes coming in, we're kind of jumping on that. So I just want to go to you, Evan. What are you keeping an eye on right now? What are you seeing?
Yeah, no, there's a few ridings. I had mentioned Morinville St. Albert earlier. That one, we're starting to see a lot of votes come in a lot more in these rural pockets. I am zoning in on Calgary Acadia. There's a good chunk of votes there, and it is tight. So I think that one's going blue. Obviously, I'm hoping so, but that's one that I'm starting to watch. We're starting to see more votes come in, which we're getting more findings. Another one that I'd highlight too is Strathcona Sherwood Park. Right now, Nate Glubish looks like he's got a pretty good lead with about 10,000-ish votes in. So there's more to come. One more other thing I think is interesting to watch is how much of these votes are advanced polls and how much of them are election day votes. My sense is that the UCP will overperform on election day, and the NDP might have a slight edge when all those advanced votes eventually come in. And so, anyways, that's what I'm watching and seeing. If I'm the UCP camp, I'm excited about Strathcona Sherwood Park. I'm excited about Morinville St. Albert because if they can hold those, that makes the NDP math a lot harder in Calgary.
Right. And again, we were expecting, I guess, for those advanced votes to come in quite quickly, because then it kind of gives us an idea as to how this night may shake down. And so we're not really seeing that right now. So it's kind of a different pacing than we have seen in previous elections. And Leah, what are you keeping an eye on there too? What are you seeing?
I mean, this race is so tight that we're really watching the same seats, right? We're looking. So Strathcona Sherwood Park is a great example of one to look at. The NDP's got Bill Tanita, an educator, ran a strong campaign. We saw a big volunteer showing in that riding and a lot of momentum. So that one again is one of those. If it comes our way, it might represent a shift in other areas that the NDP needs to see movement. And of course, if it stays with the UCP, it could signal that things aren't moving quite the way that the NDP would like to see. Of course, that is an area that the NDP has held before, so there is some reason to hope that things go well there. The other thing I think is worth watching is when we see overall, turnout numbers or sort of those high-level pre-election day polling numbers in places like Calgary, what we're not really able to see with those are a term we would call vote efficiency. So how efficient or how targeted are campaigns in the specific ridings relative to the overall numbers. And the NDP's ground game has been very, very targeted. So even though when we start seeing trends and we start seeing movement, it might look like things are moving to the UCP. It's still too early in the night to really say that for sure.
I know, because when we look at some of these numbers, like, yes, we are starting to see, over 1,000 votes in some of those areas. But then when you also look at the number of polls reporting, like here we have in Edmonton South, we have 6 out of 20, I think, if my eyesight is correct. Yeah, 6 out of 20. So again, like, you still have to consider that as to how many polls are reporting and where those numbers are coming from. What about from our two mayors? What are both of you looking at? What's really standing out to you, William?
Sure, definitely looking at the Southwest. With Nathan Ipter and also Casey Madu. I know both of them. I spent some time with each of them. I think Casey was a fairly competent minister when he was there, and then knowing Nathan as a school trustee, a very likable guy. I think he has the proper demeanor to do the job. So I think that's going to be a close race. I think right now we're 392 to 298. So some good ridings within the Battle of Alberta here.
What about you, Angela? What are you keeping an eye on?
Well, there's a lot of municipal leaders that are running in this election. We have Bill Tanita running in Strathcona Sherwood Park. We have Tini Ridgick running in Fort Saskatchewan-Vegreville. So a lot of municipal politicians looking to move into provincial politics. So I'm keeping an eye on a few of those. They're all quite close at the moment, or most of them are. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
When you think, I want to be an Evan. I'm curious when it comes to strategy. How challenging is it for you? Because, leading up to this, even, when we've been talking, we're talking about like the big picture and how these, what this indicates. What are you thinking when you see small numbers coming in and how to translate that into strategy? Like, is that possible?
It's really tough with Calgary right now just because there's just not enough votes in the pool. But
they're asking each other on air how they're supposed to do their job right now. That's pretty funny.
Urban-rural interface is that the UCP got their vote out, at least in those areas. So whether that holds true in Calgary, that's what everyone's kind of chewing their nails over right now in UCP HQ. They're looking for reports from their teams on the ground. What do they know? So that's all you can. At this point of the game, you're just kind of hoping like, what do we know? What do we see? How excited can we be? Everyone, what are we at here? We're 2 hours in.
Oh, okay, it froze again. I'm not showing you guys my links.
I already did either, so who knows?
That's true. I know. I do throw have a pretty good host party, right? Yeah. No, and what about you, Leah? Like, I mean, what do you think when it comes to strategy, or how do you think going forward? I don't know if this is a fair question. I feel like I keep putting you on the spot with these questions. I'm like, hey, Evan, how does that make you feel? I'm like, so Leah, let's get into it. I don't need to do that. But I'm curious, like, how does something like this play in to strategy or play into kind of like the messaging that you can see moving forward? Do you think that this will be like that this kind of play out on election night can be useful going forward,
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to let you down a little bit by saying it's too soon to tell. But really, like, the strategy for this election ended, a few days ago. The game really right now is getting out the vote. And so, what does it say about the choices the NDP made in terms of their strategy? We saw them come out the gate strong with a message on healthcare. They put forward some really interesting affordability measures, of course, economic diversification, and then moving into a message around trust and leadership, which of course stood in stark contrast to Danielle Smith and a lot of the videos that were surfacing of her record. So was that the right strategy in the end? The voters will tell us tonight. We're watching a handful of really key seats to see if it was enough to move them.
Do either of you well, how can I put this? I was going to say, like, are either of you envious of being in those headquarters where you're just like waiting to see what's happening? I know we're waiting to see what happens here, but I mean, to be in that incredibly stressful situation.
I don't know if envious is the right word. I mean, I have a tremendous amount of respect for the people who are out there. They're exhausted. They've been working, their tails off now for, the longest days you could ever imagine when you're working a campaign like that. I mean, Evan knows just as well. You're just spent. And so I feel for them, and,
They're amazing. They're amazing. All of them are amazing. They're amazing.
We're grabbing the power bars and grabbing the Gatorades, trying to get those electrolytes up if you're in the UCP HQ or NDP HQ. Like this is exhausting. Like most people, like whether you're
so hard. It's so fucking hard right now for all of us.
As quick as possible. We've been looking at polls. We've been talking about who's going to win. We had the UCP leadership race 7 months ago. Everyone just kind of wants to, maybe grab a beer or a soda pop and just kind of relax a little. And I'm just hoping that for all those guys, they can just.
If I could only.
I'm going to be like, you know what? Let's do that. Let's all of us do this. Hey, Rob, we're going to throw it back to you. We're just going to continue our party downstairs here.
Yeah, Evan, I think, has exhausted that metaphor. So let's put that one in check. We want to do another sport. Thanks, Nancy. Thanks,
Oh man, I wish I had issues like that. Like how to be a CBC reporter tonight.
Of what's unfolding. You see it on.
It's a very difficult situation to
the
be
trend
in.
hasn't changed much. We've got the UCP out in front. They have been for a while. That's holding steady. Just dipped below the 50 mark to 48.39. So it's tightening up a little bit. But what we can show you is what we're also seeing in a lot of ridings across the province right now, and ridings that are too close to call. So look at that, Calgary Climb. This is a riding that the NDP is hoping to pick up. The incumbent there is UCP Jeremy Nixon. Only one vote separating those two right now. One vote in Calgary Northeast. This is riding again. The NDP has circled. Rajan Sani, former cabinet minister's riding. She went over to Calgary Northwest when Sonia Savage left. One vote separating it. Two votes in Beddington. Josephine Pond. This is the UCP incumbent there. Again, the NDP is hoping to pick up all of these seats in the north end of Calgary. Calgary North is an interesting one. If there's a hold in the north that the UCP seem pretty confident about going into tonight, it's Calgary North. But again, so very close here. Single digit at this point of the evening. Calgary East, again, 5 votes. Paygan, 6. If Paygan are riding in the south of Calgary, south of Glenmore Trail, which is really kind of the big blue wall, talk about Fortress, Edmonton for the NDP. The Fortress is the south. If that goes the direction of the NDP, it's going to be a good night at some point. So take a look at some other too close to call ridings here. Lesser Slave Lake. This is a back and forth riding. So in 2015, Daniel Larrivee picked up this for the NDP, and they were hoping it's a bit of a weird riding. The UCP MLA there had been absent for long stretches during his time there, decided not to run again. I believe that was Pat Wren. And for much of this campaign, nobody could find the UCP campaign on the ground. 8 votes separate those two. Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo, we're not expecting that one to be as close as it is. 15 vote margin difference. Calgary Acadia. This is former health minister turned justice minister and attorney general Tyler Shandro's riding. Again, south of that big blue wall in Calgary, Glenmore.
Okay.
If Acadia falls, the NDP is back in pole position. Red Deer North. This is Adriana Lagrange's riding. Another cabinet minister. Could another cabinet minister be going down in a part of the province that has traditionally been conservative bedrock? Calgary Shaw. We heard from Rebecca Schultz earlier. Another cabinet minister. She was in contention for the leadership. With the amount of vote we have in right now, 42 votes separating Schultz from her competitor. And in another riding that has been held by incumbent for the NDP in the north side of Calgary, another wrinkle here. So this is your Fence of Beers riding. It shouldn't be that close according to all the math that we've been seeing. The NDP should be picking that up. Okay, speaking of, We already told you that we can project that Danielle Smith, the leader of the UCP, will be in the legislature, and so will Rachel Notley. This is of no surprise to anyone. CBC's decision desk able to project that Rachel Notley has received enough of the vote from the good people of Edmonton Strathcona so that she'll be returning to the legislature yet again, the longest serving member. The premier who was defeated, who decided to stick around and fight for another day. Nobody's been in the ledge as long as Rachel Notley. She's been there since 2008, so it's a long time. So one of the questions that will be asked of her, if she doesn't clarify it tonight, is if in fact the NDP go on to lose this election, will Rachel Notley want to stick around for another mandate as leader of the opposition? People inside the party have told me don't expect that. Whether or not we hear that from her tonight, if in fact the NDP go on to lose this election, we'll just have to wait and see. But things are tightening up here. As we're getting more vote in, we heard that it was going to be a close election from pollsters like Janet Brown. And now we're seeing a bit more vote of the narrative that we thought we'd see play out. And in Calgary in particular, I know there's not a lot of vote, but still more competitive than you expected in some of those ridings?
Yes, and there's a low number of votes here, but it's too close to call. That's what we said, and it's playing out that way. But you went through a whole bunch of ridings that it's just too close to call. There's some other ridings that we knew were part of the NDP's path to victory that aren't too close to call, and they don't seem to be breaking well. So sort of picking up on some of the things that Leah was saying. Red Deer South, some people thought that was a potential for the NDP. There's a good number of votes there, and it looks like the UCP has it. Strathcona, Sherwood Park. So now we're talking about the donut around Edmonton, and we knew that the NDP would have to pick up a few seats there. Doesn't look like they picked up Strathcona, Sherwood Park, Leduc, Morinville, St. Albert. And also, the last time I looked, it might have switched, but the last time I looked, it looks like a UCP lead in Banff, Kananaskis.
Mm-hmm.
So some of these things that were crucial to the NDP road to victory aren't playing out quite yet.
Okay, and you're not highlighting those because they're just interesting, because as a pollster, you're highlighting those because you've seen enough vote there that they're interesting to you. So while we haven't seen a lot of vote out there, what are we talking about in those ridings? Hundreds of votes?
I'm literally trying to keep my eyes on the ridings where there's at least 1,000 votes separating the winner from second place.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that does tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really confused at this point. Are you?
I'm trying to get over my frustration.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. That's an Elections Alberta discussion. I'm going to leave that until after the show at this point, unless we're here till like 3 a.m. Jessica Ng is watching all these results come in. When they come in, she's picking through all the data and picking out some storylines for us. I notice you have Calgary up in the background.
Yes, I do. We are going to we'll stay in Calgary. We've been talking about it, but let's go specifically to Calgary Foothills, the riding of the current Minister of Culture, Jason Luan, right now with an 154 vote lead over the NDP, and not a huge difference right now, and that's over half of the polls reporting in that riding. Calgary Glenmore now with Whitney Issik and a 95 vote lead, only 100 votes separating the two parties in that riding. And Calgary Acadia, we mentioned that one with Tyler Shandro, the current Minister of Justice. Right now, he's actually losing in that riding. 84 votes separating Diana Batten, the teacher, and him in Calgary Acadia. And this could be, again, the beginning of the narrative as things start to firm up. Things are starting to firm up. We are getting a little bit more data. It's still slow. I feel like we're pulling a very slow string out of a box to get the answer.
As you say, that key battleground, we're starting to get a sense of where things could be going. Diana Batten, not a teacher, a nurse actually.
Nurse,
remember?
there we go.
So that's an interesting
Nursing
dynamic.
instructor as well.
Right, so we've got a nurse and we've got a former health minister.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember at the beginning of the mandate, the UCP came out strong in a fight against the nurses and then the doctors. And so she's been knocking on the doors, Diana Batten, and reminding voters in Calgary Acadia of that. And we're seeing a close race so far. All right, let's take it down to UCP headquarters. As things sort of tighten up on the scoreboard, Elise, I'm wondering if people are getting a little more tight.
You know, the liquor has been flowing here for a while, so I don't know whether they're turning this delay and getting the votes into a bit of a drinking game. So we'll see how that turns out. We've talked about Battleground Calgary a lot tonight. We've mentioned Fortress Edmonton, and one of those ridings where CBC has projected a victory for Janice Irwin in Edmonton Highlands Norwood. I'm actually joined right now by the person who was running against her for the UCP, Nick Kalinchuk. So, you know, maybe not the night that you were hoping for, but that riding in particular is an NDP stronghold. So tell me how you're feeling.
Listen, I'm so happy about the campaign we ran. I mean, before I entered this role, I was the Premier's 2S LGBTQIA+ advisor, and it was so important for her specifically to have representation for that community in our 87 candidates. And that's why I was so happy to run in the riding I ran. And listen, our campaign worked very hard. We had lots of people who were very invested in the work we did. And frankly, at the doors, people were very surprised to hear that our campaign was, frankly, had a position like mine in the Premier's office that she requested to be made, and had staff who were interested in making a difference in that community. And so I was very happy to fill that role and very happy to run her as a candidate. And I'm very excited to see what happens with the next 4 years with Daniel Smith government.
You and I were talking before we came on about representation and how important it was to you personally that people could see a broad range of candidates at the doors. I think also in this campaign and in previous campaigns for the UCP, there have been difficult moments and controversies about some of the things that have been said about people who are diverse, particularly LGBTQ+ people. How did this campaign affect you? What were you telling people at the doors, and what was it about the UCP that you felt so strongly about that you wanted to represent them at those doors?
Yeah, no, great question. Listen, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I know, like, we're talking about Jen Johnson here, and listen, like, I had never met her before the election began. I had no idea who she was, and so I had met her after those comments came out, and I was, like most Albertans, extremely, in fact, like I think all Albertans, very disturbed with the comments that came out, and so in my role, I wanted to meet her. And I wanted to see why she said those comments that she did that I think so many Albertans find deplorable. I met her and I said, listen, here's what we're going to do. As the Premier's 2S LGBTQ+ advisor, we're going to talk to a leading trans stakeholder in Alberta, who I know personally, who I've worked with, and you're gonna talk to them, because I think you need to stand in front of these people. And you need to talk about why what you said is inappropriate. They're going to tell you why what that candidate said was inappropriate, what you said is inappropriate, and we'll go from there. And I think the Premier made the right decision to not welcome Ms. Johnson back into our caucus, regardless of what happens. If she would like to work on personally by herself without our support to right those wrongs, she can. She has those contacts. But I will continue to do the work that I have done in Ms. Smith's office. And Ms. Smith will, I believe, continue to support me in the work I've done to support communities who have been underrepresented by all governments, whether it's NDP or UCP, especially when it comes to 2S LGBTQIA+ folks. And I think where it comes down to is affordability. Like always it does. When I talk to these groups, especially the last 3 or 4 years with COVID, these are communities who have been so hit so bad by affordability issues, and they were before the pandemic. Forget the pandemic completely, even before the pandemic. So it is incumbent upon our government, whether we win 44 seats or 60 seats, it is incumbent on our government to represent all Albertans, and that includes 2S LGBTQIA+ folks.
Absolutely. As we've heard, a big theme over the course of the election and over the course of the evening, it's voters here making their decisions, and we will see how that plays out the rest of the night, and hopefully those votes start rolling in a little bit faster, Rob.
Thanks, Elise. So 51 currently leading for the UCP to 36 for the NDP. That would be a 15-seat difference. That would tie the difference, the smallest difference between the opposition and the governments that we've ever seen, if those numbers hold. And the big story, as we've been repeating for weeks now, is going to be Calgary. And we're starting to see more of the vote in Calgary, and I want to give you a sense of what's going on there through the vote share. So this is share of the popular vote. Look at that, neck and neck. The NDP sitting at 48%, 48.8%. The UCP at 48.5%. So the UCP's down.
Oh, NFG. I don't see a link. I don't see a link. I would post it if I could see it. Maybe try and mask it or something, like, right? Like mask it somehow.
It translates this way. The NDP looking to be up by 8 as the numbers currently stand. The UCP down by 8. the NDP will continue to have to gain if they're going to get close. To
The
that
fuck did I put my
44
goddamn lighter?
number. Right now, they're
Misplaced it.
The trend that we've seen for
Crazy.
some time now with the vote that's been coming in, the UCP holding steady in the lead here. It looks as if they're heading towards the majority government, but we're still waiting on so much vote, Janet. So things could flip, and it's getting really interesting when we get micro into some
Oh, just the link to your channel in general? Yeah, I could do that.
foothills. Yeah, a lot of stuff in play here.
They had like a link to yeah, no, I can do that for sure. Easy.
So
easy,
we're really
easy,
starting
easy,
to
easy.
see these trends. And again, what I'm
bling,
looking at are these
bling.
bellwether ridings, and right now it's looking at it. It's looking a lot like my poll predictions that the UCP has got enough of a lead outside of the two major cities that they're going to lock up enough of those seats that they don't really need too many in Calgary to be able to put them over the top.
They're gonna lock you up.
Dare I
They're gonna lock
your
you
blood
up.
pressure again? This just in from Elections Alberta. There's an investigation underway. Because currently we're being told that only 72
But you can't
of the
post your own
255
link. You're a mod in the
candidate
channel.
leaders
What the
are
fuck?
working as they should.
You out of your mind?
So if we have that,
No, they told us everything was fine.
yeah, we have a lot of statements here saying as much, but they're acknowledging that they're having some problems now. We know that 750,000 votes came through the advanced polls. They all went through the tabulator. If that amount of outstanding vote is still sitting there an hour, 2 hours from there, are we going to be able to call or project a winner tonight?
I don't know. We may need to come back tomorrow night and regroup. Someone was joking on Twitter. When are we
Wow.
meeting tomorrow?
So this is how elections are now.
So
I guess we already
if they
knew
can't
that.
get those tabulators working, then they've got to do a hand count. And they don't have the resources for the hand count, right? They're counting the day of ballots. So they're going to have to, redeploy some resources. And, it's
Come on. It has a tendency to refresh itself, so I'll give it a chance here. Are they giving up? Did they give up? I mean, if they give up, I'm giving up. Do 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 do. Diddly dee, diddly dee dee. Diddly dee dee, diddly dee dee, diddly dee dee. Yeah. Well,
And we're talking about
Oh,
a
yeah.
breakdown
Here we go.
when it comes to the automated stuff. But where's the day of stuff? Like, we don't, we're used to hand counts and we're used to being done at this point. So, I'm waiting for another memo. What's the holdup on those hand counted ballots? Because, I've got friends that are doing scrutiny.
yeah, you
for
can
another-
post any link you want there, NFG. You're a mod, so you can post any link you want.
In the official Elections Alberta count. Maybe that's because they're caught up in this controversy and they're having trouble getting that
Literally any link you want. Post goat seed.
These are elections. This is really important, and this was a highly contentious election.
No, I don't
and,
actually.
Boy, I've been just waiting for today to be over.
Yeah, so many people have been. Okay, Jenna, thank you. We'll leave it at that for now. And I just want to clarify for people at home, Jenna talked about the CBC computer. We are in the age of artificial intelligence. We haven't farmed our brains out entirely to the computer. We do have human beings that are working with those computers. The data that's coming in analyzing it, synthesizing it, and then getting it in my ears so that we can talk about it, getting it to Jessica. So we do have a level of scrutiny at the human level and some serious experts who are scratching their heads at this hour and they're waiting for more data. And as soon as we get it, we'll bring it to you. In the meantime, we're going to go to NDP headquarters. Julia Wong standing by. You're earning your keep tonight, Julia. What have you got for us now? Another guest?
I certainly do, Rob. I do not want to disappoint, but first I just want to chat because the volume in here has definitely increased over the last little bit. There is immense enthusiasm on the part of NDP supporters. Anytime some of those results are rolling in, showing an NDP candidate leading in a certain riding, this room goes crazy. Just like that, right here behind me. Now, someone else who is also very enthusiastic about how the night is going is Jack Eshelman. He is a volunteer with the NDP. He's 24 years old, but signed on with them when he was just 17 years old. Jack, tell me a little bit. You're a longtime supporter for the NDP. What is the motivation behind that?
Well, mostly I just want a government and a party that represents me, my values, and the values.
Now, what I'm about to say in no way represents Dakota's channel. This is just my own personal opinion. And he'll probably ban me after I say this, but these NDP voters, they're like parasites. They really sicken me. They're like foul, disgusting leeches. Makes me sick.
I was out way east of Sherwood Park. I was in the Range Road district, and every door I went to was like I was literally welcomed with open arms. People like kind of came out, looked out. Oh, I don't get many door knocks. And then I said, hey, I'm Jack here with the Build to Need NDP campaign. And yeah, the body language changed right away. Doors wide open, shoulder to shoulder contact, and the conversations we had today were pretty fun.
And Jack, you're 24 years old. There can often be criticism that young people aren't engaged in politics, that they're not involved in politics. I mean, what do you say to that as someone who has been volunteering with the NDP for so many years?
I say talk to young people. Young people have a voice, and they use it. We at large have the same concerns as everybody else in the province. We want affordability. We want to be sure to have jobs in the future. So me, myself, a post-secondary student, talk to people all the time about affordable education and most importantly, having a job coming out of the educational system. And we see that, largely speaking, with the NDP, and we really haven't had much faith bestowed upon us with the Smith government and the Kenney government for that.
And speaking of the education system, now you are a political science student at the University of Alberta. What have you taken away from this campaign? What have you learned?
Oh, the big thing I've taken away is that people don't trust Danielle Smith, and they trust Rachel Notley. The two are very big. They oppose each other in many ways, but the biggest one is that people are scared of Smith's policies. They're afraid that her policies are going to make it more expensive at the grocery store, that they won't have good, sustainable jobs in the future, that they don't trust her, that they may not have doctors in their communities. That's things everybody worries about. I want to grow old in this province. I want to start a family in this province, and I don't trust Danielle Smith and many of the people I deal with, students, young people, and the people at the doors. They do not trust this premier.
All right, thank you so much. That's Jack Eshelman, a longtime volunteer with the NDP at the ripe old age of 24 years old. We'll be chatting more with folks like Jack.
He wants to start a family. That's so cute. He probably only said that because he was talking to that reporter. I'm sorry. He's so sad. So sad.
In our second studio here at the CBC Edmonton location, Nancy Carlson. She's got a panel. If you haven't heard from them already, they've had a lot to say without a lot of information to digest. And I really, if we could, Nancy, I'd like to get their thoughts on what we're hearing from Elections Alberta. The latest, I'm getting more updates on what's wrong with the vote than the actual vote. The latest coming in is apparently a lot of the polling stations couldn't close until 9 o'clock. I shouldn't say a lot. The actual word they're using is some out of 87. We don't know how many that represents, but they couldn't close until 9, and so the in-person, the manual count couldn't start until then. Nevertheless, it's a head scratcher for us up here. Well, what do your panelists have to say about it down there?
So, thankfully, we have two people who have gone through elections where they have actually used these tabulators. And so, William, what has your experience been like with them?
Well, it's only time we've used them for a couple elections now, and they're seamless. Every time you registered, you got a little green check that if it worked, you got a little red X if it didn't work. and the attendant helped you fix that to make sure that it went through. And when the election door day closed, like the hours, there's a little USB chip that they took out and brought back to head office, put it in there, and it downloaded the thing. It was just instant. So I can't believe that in 2.5 hours following this, that Elections Alberta just figured that there's something wrong. So I don't tell anybody in Elections Alberta, like, I can use an abacus. So if you want to give me a shout, I'll be more than willing to give you a hand.
No, I was gonna say you'll be doing double, triple duty while you're here.
You can use the abacus in one hand and one finger.
I was gonna say we have enough room on the desk in order to do that. What about the delay, like for some of the polling stations to be open later than usual? Have either of you ever experienced that before? Like, I mean.
Usually, so we're pretty good. We can tell time. I'm not. I think it's just getting long tonight, but I think just to be fair, like, so if the polling station had to open later, then definitely they need the number of hours to just be, fair to everybody else. But I think with the way things are now with elections and everything digitalized, it should be instant.
Mm-hmm. And what about you, Angela? Like, what were you hearing from people when it comes to these topics? Because I mean, not everybody is on board with this kind of technology, right?
Yeah, there was actually quite a bit of conversation in my riding in the lead up to today around the tabulators at the advanced polling stations, and there were people calling into question whether or not they were being read properly, and that was always alarming in the lead up to the election. I mean, I have complete faith that everything will be read properly in the long run, but my concern with this delay in informing people of the issue and the issue itself is that it will cause questions of legitimacy, or could cause questions of legitimacy moving forward to continue to use these tabulators, but also the results of these votes. So it'll be interesting to see how Elections Alberta chooses to handle this situation in the days to come.
Yeah, what do both of you think of that when it comes to, I mean, what we're seeing here tonight, that if it is an issue with the tabulators, that, I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's frustrating for everybody, right? I mean, I think Rob was saying we've been waiting for, or Evan even, we've been waiting for ages for the results of tonight's outcome, and I think everyone's just really anxious. Hard to imagine that a simple technology such as counting a black dot would cause this kind of a delay. I was in school a couple decades ago and we were doing tests by Scantron, so you'd think we'd kind of have this one down by now. I do worry about the way that the trust that people will have in things like advanced voting, or in even moving our entire voting into an electronic system, which would actually be it'd be a great move, and we should be there.
What are they even talking about now? What's happening? Is the election being stolen in front of our eyes?
For me, I'm going to go back to hockey analogies. This is as irritating to me as when the NHL made up a decision that Blake Coleman kicked a goal in Game 5 last year of the Battle of Alberta. It's super irritating. It shouldn't have happened. And this is the type of thing, like on election night, you want to see everything run smoothly. Advanced voting is great. We want more people to go out and hit the polls. The parties love advanced voting because it makes resources more easier. It drives voter turnout up. And if just stuff like this is super frustrating. So we want to see the votes counted. Just like as a Calgary Flames fan, we all know that Blake Coleman's vote was legitimate last year in the Battle of Alberta.
Yeah, well,
so,
we might have to end it pretty soon.
Where's the
like,
hand ballots?
they're kind of saying themselves like it's over.
We just want to see this resolved. There are a lot of votes in, and we can see some trends.
Everything's all fucked
We're
up.
starting to see a bit of the map get solidified. The NDP math is a little
I don't
harder
know.
right now,
I'll take a vote.
Man, it's just we're waiting for a lot of votes right now. So.
Yeah, it's almost like that moment where we can say, okay, there's enough here that we're moving forward, right? Because again, like you guys, I'm looking at my computer over here, but like we are starting to see, again, a few thousand votes come in, but I mean, you still see some where there's one or two and it's not enough to make a difference. So, so obviously a lot of discussion down here, Rob, and I'm hopefully continuing to bring the youthful energy as well, which I know you were going to mention earlier. So I just mentioned it for you.
Ouch.
So
Okay.
Yeah,
You're doing it. You brought your dancing shoes. I know you did. Thanks, Nancy. All right. We want to bring you an update on a somewhat notable name. There was a time when the official opposition in this province was the Liberal Party, the Alberta Liberal Party. Not so much anymore, as we've seen opposition votes right now coalescing around the NDP. John Roggeveen, who is running in Jason Kenney's riding, we can tell you that he will not be the elected member there. Projected winner in that riding, as expected, Eric Bouchard, the UCP candidate. All right, and just reminding you that UCP leader Danielle Smith, we have projected, will be going to the legislature, and the NDP lost in that riding. And then we'll go and show you, yes, Rachel Notley, no surprise, will be going back to the legislature. All right, I had a couple people talking in my ear at the same time when that was going on, so I can't tell you what Jessica Ng is going to tell us about right now. It's going to be a surprise to me as much as it is to you, so surprise away, Jessica.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the rural ridings that we have been watching. We're going to take a look now at Lesser Slave Lake. No incumbent in this riding, but Scott Sinclair with the UCP holding on. Almost 300 vote difference between him and the NDP in this specific riding. Now Banff Kananaskis, Miranda Rosen with an 1,800 vote lead over Sarah El-Maligi of the NDP. And now let's take a look at Morinville St. Albert, where Dale Nally, previous minister, right now looking at a 1,300 vote lead over Karen Shaw, the NDP. That's where we're sitting in some of the rural ridings that we have been watching. But again, we are keeping an eye on Edmonton, we're keeping an eye on Calgary, we're keeping an eye on the rest of the province, and we're hoping that we're getting more numbers in shortly too.
Yeah, and if you're not seeing, you're wondering why those numbers aren't changing at the bottom of the scoreboard, it's in part because the NDP is not picking up where they were hoping to in ridings like Banff Kananaskis, in ridings like Morinville St. Albert, where they had
Okay, love you all. Good night.
Sturgeon County councillor, local